Welcome back to the Analyst Chamber here, Red Bull Wololo V, and we are swiftly approaching the main event, the grand final, best of 7, $26,000 going home in the back pocket of whoever takes it out. I'm joined here by Mem and Nili, and we are minutes away from the biggest match of not just this week, but really the entire Wololo series. Leary, an absolute master of this format, Empire Wars, up against the greatest player of all time in the Viper. And let's talk about the Viper, Mem. Let's talk about what he's going to bring to this match and what Leary is going to have to do to contain this legend of the game.
What I really think that the Viper is bringing in this tournament is that he has mixed really well his gameplay. He has been more defensive lately, and I remember specifically 2 games, especially the game against Kira when he was in Habub and went completely aggressive. And took, I don't remember how many villages. And then other games has been, well, with his usual style. So he became less predictable. For example, the second game yesterday with the Archers against Doubt, he went all in with Britons and was one game behind already. I think he's playing better in that regard, and that's going to make him more dangerous, and Leary will have to think twice after what strategy we're going to pick.
I think so. We've seen him sort of, duck and dive a little bit more than he usually does. Find some new avenues, explore other areas of weakness. He's definitely upped his game, which nearly is incredible to say about a player who is already amongst the best. The fact that he's still finding new ways to improve. We've described him as a student of the game. Yeah,
and absolutely. And you really see that there are some new tricks in his arsenal, right? We saw the super late game with Sicilians. We saw the super late game with Bohemians. Something we would not have thought of even in Red Bull 4. So much already shown, maybe more to come.
Maybe more to come. We have talked about this. Are there secrets that these players are hiding? Some of us say yes, some of us say no. It's going to be fascinating to find out. Of course, the favourite we've said going into not just this match but the entire event is Leary. Let's talk about this young fella, 19 years old, from Austria, already has won 2 of these events, looking to add a 3rd title to his collection. And nearly, look, the Viper will underestimate Leary at his own peril because this bloke is a stone-cold killer, especially in Empire Wars.
Yeah, well, they only faced each other like 3 days ago, and Leary won. The 2-1, right? It was a really close set, was really entertaining. We're hoping that it will be as entertaining in this finals. And the Viper, yeah, he has no business underestimating him.
No, and I mean he won't either. You know, Leary is someone who has very, very clearly made his mark on Red Bull Wololo, on Empire Wars, on Age of Empires, a rising star. Not even a rising star, he is just a star already that has ascended to the heavens, and we can't wait to see what he's got to bring in this, the grand final. And you'll be enjoying the dulcet honey baritones, my friends, of Dave and T90. They're standing by now, getting ready for the call. Boys, I can imagine you're right on edge here. This is going to be a massive match. Dave, what are you looking forward to here, mate?
I wonder who's the dulcet, who's the baritone, and who's the honey.
I don't want to know. No.
You look like someone that would sell me honey.
I do that part-time. I do that part-time.
Who's the favorite? Sorry, Bradley, what was the question again?
We're playing Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and the grand final's about to start.
What?
Leary and the Viper here. Leary, obviously the favourite heading into this, but the Viper is going to be a huge adversary. Dave, what are you looking forward to, and what are your expectations?
Well, I mean, this is what we live for, basically. Viper versus Leary. This is the matchup that I think a lot of people would have agreed was the ultimate conclusion to the Wololo series coming into this castle, and I'm looking forward to the Viper making a case for himself. I mean, we know what Leary can do. We've seen it in Red Bull 2, we've seen it in Red Bull 4. I want Viper to be there at the very tip-top level and give Leary a run for his money. I want all 7 games, and I mean, just may the best man win, I guess.
Well, I'll let you two get ready for the call. Best of luck to you. Break a leg, boys, as we come back to the analyst desk one final time before this match begins. This is it. It's the moment we've been waiting for. It all comes down to this. Mem, your closing thoughts now as we see these 2 hard-hitting heavyweights go at it for their share of $100,000 and all the glory and prestige that comes in winning a tournament, an Age of Empires tournament in a castle. Mem, what are we going to see?
What can I say? I think Dave wants 7 games. Everyone wants 7 games. If both players are at their top, I'm sure that 7 games is real possibility. But if one of those players are not at his peak, then the other is not gonna forgive any second. It can be definitely so complicated for any of the players. If they are not playing at the maximum, well, the other player is going to take it.
That's right, and nearly it's going to be so important for both these players to go out there, leave nothing behind, leave nothing in the tank, make sure that when the dust settles, they have given it their all. And honestly, this one's so hard to pick.
Yeah, it has been building up for, it feels like 1.5 years now. And it's building up, and the finals are here. Leary, the probably favorite after winning so much, and finally Viper has his chance to shine.
We are going to find out right here and right now, my friends, at Heidelberg Castle. $100,000 on the line. The final, the grand final, best of 7 after 6 days of fierce and heated competition. Some of the most incredible and iconic games of Age of Empires have already been witnessed, but it was all just a prelude to this, a chance to grasp greatness within reach here for Leary and the Viper. And all that remains is for us to sit back and enjoy the grand final. I'll kick it over now to the casters. They're standing by and ready to go. They'll be walking you through the draft and, of course, the matches. Let's get underway with the grand final now with Dave and T90.
I promise I will have more of a smile on my face at some point during this cast, but it's all serious for me right now, despite the costume. It's all serious. This is huge. This whole week we've been wondering who's going to make it to the final. And this storyline has been building, Dave. Players are about to walk in here for the grand final. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a treat. You see the Viper there.
All seriousness.
All seriousness.
He's not smiling, man.
No.
I saw him backstage. He is, oh man, he's ready. And so is Leary too. But look at Viper walking on. That's the look that I would imagine Viper had when he was winning everything for 5 years straight. And here comes Leary. He's looking maybe a little bit tense. He said he had no nerves, but
there's no way he has no nerves
yeah,
here.
There's no way.
He might have less than when he was 16, but there's no way that he has no nerves. I have nerves at the moment. I'm sure Dave does as well. But as Dave said, we live for this right now. The draft will be starting in just a moment, or might be starting right now. Very important to this final.
Yeah, it looks like the draft is about to begin. We've got our villagers on either side. We have Corzini in the middle telling players what to do. The villagers will guide them to the table. And then we'll have our live draft. Look at Leary, he's taking it slowly. He's kind of like savoring the moment a little bit, maybe working out the nerves. Fist pump there between the two players. And we start off with Leary, who is the higher seed.
Yep. Lots of respect between these two. I am not at all surprised, if that is Atacama anyways, to see that Leary's going to open up with that one. We will have more maps included into this draft and more civilizations because this is the only best of 7 in this tourney for good reason.
Yeah, and that's a pretty quality best of 7 too. We see Enclosed coming for Viper. That's not a surprise after the game he put together against Stout yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Really good with the Britons, like really clean.
Yeah, also I think fascinating to me that Viper here in 2021 prefers that map. It definitely, there's a difference between the two despite their dominance. Viper a bit more defensive than Leary. But man, is he good with it, and he's going to go for his ban, and we are unfortunately not going to see Meadow.
He had a panic attack yesterday on Meadow, so maybe he doesn't want to see that again. Almost losing that one to Doubt.
It's a tricky map, man. So
And
say goodbye to that and Kawasan.
Yeah, 2 of our least played maps.
We
I
didn't
think we've seen Meadow once, and then Kawasan maybe 3 times.
So if we did have Kawasan played, can we say that we Kawasaw it? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Acclivity, the next map for Leary here. Leary's very good on that map.
Incredible with this map. Civilizations, which we'll talk about later, just tend to suit him as we have Land Madness for Viper. So
Land Madness, a crazy map.
that and then Aftermath, which comes as no surprise to me, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, the first set they played together, I think Leary beat Viper in like, what, 10 minutes game time? And then the next map was Aftermath, and Viper beat him in 11 minutes or something ridiculous.
Yeah, that series between them was fascinating as we have Winged as the final pick there for Leary because the games didn't go on that long, yet the series was close. Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. Game 1 will, of course, be on Runestones, which is fairly standard. I think it was different during our group stage, but we got kind of a home home map for both players, I'd say, with Runestones game 1.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Runestones game because as much as I love the crazy games like Atacama, like Winged, I love me a good classic map. Like Runestones is basically an Arabia clone.
Well, it used to be.
Yeah. Before the new Arabia.
Before the new Arabia. That's what I meant. Yep.
But I love to see that matchup, and both players are likely to go for range civilizations like Britons or Ethiopians or something on Runestones, which should result in some fantastic micro. We saw amazing micro from Jordan and from Viper in that first game of their set today.
That was fun to watch.
That was when Viper went into his base, and he was just running around his base, dodging shots the entire time. It was crazy.
Yeah, if you would have asked me who that was, I probably would have said Leary and not the Viper, but Viper looked so strong.
He can do it, man. He just chooses not to sometimes.
We talked about that. I think Viper's going to have to draft strong, draft for his skill set. Do not draft to counter Leary's skill set. There was just no way to do that.
Yeah, and there's the Magyars for Leary. He's got Winged, he's got Atacama. That's really strong. And Vikings for Viper. So arguably the two best Empire Wars civs.
Yep.
We've seen them banned out a lot. And Humans making their way onto the stage for this Red Bull Wololo V. With the cheaper production buildings, they've shown they're a real threat.
I'm a little surprised to see Leary pick Aztecs next. It's not a civilization that I think that he has played too frequently.
Yeah.
But it is a best of 7, and you maybe don't want to play against Aztecs, so with no global ban at the start, he picks it. Still
Bulgarians,
a terrifying
though.
civ, and Bulgarian's awesome as well.
Yeah, especially on Winged and Atacama. Both of those maps really play into the Bulgarian skill set. Viper's maps are a little bit more open.
Yeah,
The bases are a little bit farther away. Of course, Land Madness is
crazy.
extremely aggressive, but it takes time to get to your opponent. Britons, that is a civ we've seen Viper play with throughout the years. He's been incredibly deadly, and goes with the Saracens. And remember how badly he beat Leary on Aftermath with the Saracens.
Yeah, and Aftermath, that might be the toughest civilization to face up against right now. So Viper definitely drafting towards his home map. We have Tatars there for Leary. I don't even think Leary is thinking about Aftermath at the moment.
Yeah, he might have picked Tatars just because he knows Viper loves Tatars. We've seen that video.
We saw the video like 18 times. and the people who were here at the start, we applaud you, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the only people who will see this repeat are the people who are here at the start of every day. And we saw you out there. We appreciated you. Ethiopians for Leary, the Civ Dave. We talked about this.
I don't mind it for Leary because his win rate is like 87%.
Exactly.
And he makes up like more than half of the win rate for
Right?
Ethiopians across all the players. He's just so good. Huns now for Viper. That's a Land Madness Civ if I've ever seen one.
The nice thing about Huns is with most of these maps, it's very flexible. You could go Huns on a few of these, and so Leary going to be up against the Mayans as well.
Okay.
I like the fact that players are prioritizing Mesocivs. It seems a little crazy to say that, but actually in the group stage, some players wouldn't even play.
Remember,
after
it's a best
picking
of
them.
7.
Exactly.
It's
Gotta
not
think
a best of
long-term.
5, so you got to think about all the possibilities on all the maps. And you know, the Aztecs, the Mayans, they get in your head. The eagle spam. There's so much potential for comebacks with those civs, and it's really scary in the draft. Leary going for Berbers and then for Franks, so two really good cavalry civs here.
That is such a good round there for Leary's draft. Like, I'm fairly certain both of those civilizations would have been selected by Viper if they would have been left. And
this civ has been so strong in this tournament, and I think it's even opening people's minds to the possibility in like standard RM of it being moved up the tier list.
Maybe.
Just because of how much they've shown with this civilization and the late game potential of it with the new changes.
Yeah, and the changes were fairly recent as well. So you had recent changes, then you had no one wanting to play them because everyone's stubborn, you know that. And then Gamer Legion, they tend to go, what map can I practice and what civs can I practice before big tournament? That was the one they honed in on. Viper's next pick is going to be the Khmer. I like it.
Khmer, another potential for Land Madness.
Yep.
You know, it has potential on Atacama as well.
Enclosed would work too.
Enclosed, yep.
Leary does not have a lot left here, and he will get the final 2 picks. Then we will move on to Viper to fill out that board there, and we see, wait a second.
Is that Vietnamese?
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
I like it too.
I like it a lot. Leary won with them on Unclosed. Tato won against Stout with them. Viper won against Jordan with them. I think all 3 times they've been picked is all a victory.
You know what I think it is? I feel like the top 2 civilizations, or maybe top 3 civilizations in any category, they always make people underrate the other civs, right?
Yep.
Like there's great archer civs, Britons and maybe Ethiopians, but Vietnamese deserve to be on that list. And then Indians there, the final pick for Leary, that's a fun one.
Another good cavalry civ.
Teutons.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. We haven't seen that pick very often, but remember, it's a best of 7. We have 9 civilizations selected on either side, so we're going to need 18 civs. And if you think about like top 18 Empire War civs, maybe Teutons slot in there somewhere, depending on the map.
In some way, shape, or form, I think they do. Viper actually did use Teutons in previous Red Bull Wololos. I'd say could be a bit of a struggle against some of the civs that Leary has there, but not going to be Aztecs. Viper, as we see the fist bump and then immediate notepad jotting for these players. Viper snipes Aztecs from Leary. Leary chooses to snipe the Britons from Viper, Dave.
Yep.
That was pretty quick. They didn't take a lot of time to think about what they were scared of there.
Oh, well, he's seen the same games we've seen as Viper with Britons. Absolutely deadly for years and years and years. And I wonder, is Viper playing as yellow?
I think he will actually play as yellow for the first time.
That's like a stat boost for him. That's his comfort zone right there.
Yeah, because he was always the highest seed. Well, he played as yellow against Leary, did he not? Earlier?
I think so, yeah.
I forget what happened in that best of 3. Anyways, I believe if he's on that side, he will be playing as yellow. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we don't care about the colors too much. We care about the games, and for the games to be good, the civilizations matter a lot, and we have them now.
There's a level of seriousness in the building right now. Usually we have murmurs off into the distance of like people doing work around us or the players talking or whatnot, but it is dead quiet in the studio, and I think everyone is quiet in respect of these two and in anticipation of what we're about to witness here. Viper cracking his knuckles a little bit, getting ready, writing down maybe some potential civ picks for the maps, and what he thinks Leary will go for, what he thinks he can match up against. Leary doing the same.
This will take some time. I don't think they have a set time for this. This will take a few minutes.
No, you want to give the players as much time as possible. You want to get the best possible results here from both players.
And Dave, while I sit here wearing this ridiculous hat, I'm maybe not looking so serious, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
There will be funny moments. There will be times to laugh, giggle, but it's going to be all-in aggression here, especially with this game mode and these two players. I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier today. The Viper has won basically everything, right? And if you look at the type of tournament, the name of a certain tournament, he has usually won multiple, right? This is the only championship that he has never won, the only championship that has eluded him.
And it
Can he
was
get it
also, Red Bull 1 was also the moment when he stopped winning those events.
Everything started to change a little bit.
It was after the 4-0 loss to Yo, and the King of Age of Empires stopped being the king for a year and a half. And here we are in a castle again. There's no throne here. But Viper's making a case for himself.
And if this is the end for Red Bull Wololo, I think it's advertised as the conclusion of Red Bull Wololo anyways. What better winner than the Viper for many of those fans out there? And Leary, how sick would it be for him to win 3 out of the 5 in the final one in a castle?
Viper's in the boss battle, the final boss battle.
Yeah, he is. He is.
On extra hard, basically, because Leary has been unbelievable and he looks undefeatable. When's the last time he lost an Empire War?
How is he 7 out of 10 experience, by the way?
He's been in all of them.
We did not have play, just to clarify for the viewers, Dave and I did not play any part in the experience category.
Speed.
I don't know,
because
I don't know why that's 7.
I think Leary is 8 out of 10 speed, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, if he's
10?
8 out of 10, who's 10 out of 10? Yeah. So
I feel like one of the guys in the back is like really fast but really bad at the game.
Maybe speed
so
means like how quickly they end the set.
No, like just imagine this guy's like, yeah, I could be good if I tried. He's in the back room. He's like, I'm doing editing work instead. You know, let's give him an 8. He's not that fast. And the guy is back there.
Letting us know that they are indeed the best at Age of Empires and would gladly join this tournament, but want to make us look good. So experience for Leary, obviously a 10. He's been in the finals multiple times. 3 times he's been to the finals.
Can we talk about that Atacama win, right?
Can we talk about the Ethiopian win rate? And keep in mind that those 7 games are feeding into the average player win rate. I believe average other player. Does it feed into the total overall? Anyway, he's probably boosting it.
It's through my
He's
one
probably
ear out the
boosting
other.
it up
Yeah.
because his win rate is so far above everyone else with those civs, and just shows how good of a player he is. Some of these civs, you need perfect execution.
You can find out more about those stats on the Red Bull Stats website. I'm not sure if we'll have a pop-up. Yeah, we do.
Hey, there it is. Leary,
There's
push
the
it
pop-up.
away. Push
Leary,
it away.
point.
Push it away, Leary.
Point. Okay, never mind. He's busy.
Yeah, he's...
He's really focused, Dave.
Yeah.
You love to see this. And of course, this time you might think is used to calm your nerves, but as we partook in a very serious show match before this final, it actually increases the nerves. You just want to get into the game, get the ball rolling.
As someone who's been up on that maiden stage under the lights, it's difficult, man.
It is, man.
Like, I know we were probably getting roasted in chat, but we're trying to get our settings ready, and the lights are bearing down on you, and there's all these cameras, and
I can't see how many
everything.
resources
It's
I
like-
have.
It-
Especially when you would anytime you would do something good, you would be very loud and obnoxious, and it made me feel small, Dave. I know I'm
Dude,
physically bigger, but you made me feel small.
I'm actually mad that you didn't chirp me more during that. I was chirping you like the entire time.
I can't chirp, dude.
Yeah.
I'm taking it too seriously. I can't chirp. It just sounds too real. But man, we love these two players. Guys, fun little history fact for you. The very first, I'd say big final, the very first LAN final I ever was able to cast was 4 years ago. And it was these two. Leary at that time was 15, 16, something along those lines. These
come a
two
long
same
way.
names. And then Leary, he's come a long
And
way.
we see the lights dimming here, Tristan.
It's going to start soon, Dave.
Red Bull Wololo 5, Grand Finals, Viper on the right, Leary on the left, and it looks like they are into the game, which means we will be into the game shortly from Heidelberg Castle in Germany. The Grand Finals and game number 1 on Runestones.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fast, and there will be plenty of death and destruction. But I just want to take this moment to say thank you to everyone who has made this a reality for us. This includes the players, the fans, the staff, of course, and there will be plenty of time for that. It
And
looks like
all
both
of
players fought at the start, Dave. They did leave that fight, but some weak scouts on the field. We have a stable opening for Leary and Viper in the yellow archery range.
Yeah, and Viper Vikings, arguably the best Empire Wars civ on a map like this where you can wall up and utilize the free wheelbarrow, free handcart. Leary playing as the Ethiopians, a civ that all other players are struggling with.
Viper's
Leary
not
has
expecting
found
this.
success, and he's not expecting the scouts. I don't know why he's not expecting the scouts at this point. He saw Leary go for this strategy in previous sets. I know with the Ethiopians, you usually open archers, but you have to expect that scouts might be a possibility, and he's abandoned the walls now.
This is all about doing damage for Leary. Both players are going to recognize the situation. Viper, he's going to have the better economy. Even if he loses villagers, he's in a better spot economically. And so
I love
you
the
see
quick
that
balls.
approach from Viper. He's staying at home, but he is not moving out at all here, Dave.
Yeah, well, he's Vikings, remember?
Is that the mindset you need against Leary here? We'll see. Great quick calls from the Viper. Still villagers exposed, but amazing patience from the Austrian.
And hasn't been able to do any damage with those scouts. He's going to lose his starting scout, which means he can't use auto scout to discover the rest of the map.
What a big deal.
Yep, big deal to start out this
Whoa.
game. Viper, though, with the quick walls in defense, that's what you want to do against early scout pressure like this. You don't want to go for the grand, huge walls to solidify your entire base. You want to get the quick walls, prevent damage.
That's
and
the same
Viper sent
villager.
the weak villager, but he's going to save her.
For now, Leary sees a lot of spears, a lot of archers. Is Leary just going to up to Castle Age behind this? It doesn't look like Leary has interest in
Yep.
pushing out right now
Yep.
at all, Dave.
And even with wheelbarrow on his villagers, Leary will have the resource advantage over the Viper, the Ethiopian, starting with extra resources. I love the quick gates so far. Viper showing some confidence here.
I think this is definitely a moment where Viper needs to
moving
be
out,
pushing
too.
out, though. He needs to be pushing out. He cannot just sit at home, and there's still scouts on the prowl for Leary. He didn't kill anything yet, but man, oh man, does Viper need to pay attention
Why
to
is
this.
Viper sitting in the middle of the map with that army? He's so focused on the quick walls, Tristan.
Leary has not lost any of these three scouts. One's very weak. He sees the archer, though. He's going to get the archer. He'll take that. And Leary has yet to be attacked, and Leary's on the way to Castle Age. Viper is behind, and let's see if Leary can defend from this now.
Yeah, and I think with this force, what Viper needs to do is buy himself time, if possible. If Leary's going up to the Castle Age, Viper should be clicking up soon. If he buys himself like 20 seconds, I don't even think you need to kill a villager because Leary hasn't killed anything.
Yep. Okay, I mean,
Ooh,
in terms of
but look
economic
at-
loss, it's not a big deal. Those villagers have to run away from the wood line.
Yeah, that's 4 villagers idle as they run away from that wood line. They're going to be sitting there for a while until Leary can discover where this army is from Viper. Viper's going to loop around to the deer. Leary will have archers and a skirmisher in defense. Like I said, all Viper needs to do right now, buying himself time to get fully walled, get up to the Castle Age. Then you get, in addition to wheelbarrow,
The villagers.
you do get handcarts.
The villagers
are coming back.
Viper's leaving, and he could get free kills here. And remember, his economy is so much stronger, and I think Leary should have expected this. He was pushing the army away. This is huge. Viper
That's
did not
really
lose anything
good.
at home. He's going to get 1. He should have get more than that, Dave, but he might not be able to.
Yeah, at least he got the scout. He did get a villager, and Leary has to react. And now, when Leary gets to the Castle Age, it's unlikely that he'll be in a good situation behind Viper's economy to do immediate damage.
But what I like about this from Leary is he recognizes he's got to go forward here.
Yeah.
Like he was very late to the walls because you simply cannot afford to do so with Ethiopians compared to Vikings. So Leary is going to go forward. I see he's a little defensive on the left-hand side, but here he is moving out. Time to see what the kid can do with his micro.
Yeah, and we'd love to see some big Castle Age fights with those crossbows. We know the Vikings are going to go for those. We know the Ethiopians are going to go for those. Does Leary, traditionally not a player that goes for a forward siege workshop, but do you go for it in this situation?
I do not think you do.
Okay.
I think you just completely nerd out big time. Like, you already have the faster firing archers. I'm talking fast ballistics. I'm talking fast lumbering. Forget about the siege, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
And you know Viper is not too bad. I know they only gave him 8 micro, but
And Viper's
his micro is insane. So
If he's 8, I don't know who's 9.
exactly.
Yeah.
Leary has to pay attention to the left-hand side, though. He does have a scout on patrol there, but that wood line could be hit.
And if once Viper gets crossbow, he does have crossbow now, and Leary has the scout patrolling, but the crossbows can go right around that, and Viper's sending out another force here. If he notices those crossbows from Leary, he has to have...
At the same time here, Dave, at the same time, will players react? It looks like Viper has reacted.
Yep,
Viper did
and
not
Leary
lose
loses
a
villager. Leary loses a villager. Viper is ahead in the Eco KD 2-0. This is a fantastic start for him. Remember, he does have wheelbarrow. He does have handcarts, so the economic advantage is on his side as Leary's going to successfully defend on that left side, and he's into the back of Viper's base. Viper could not complete that
There's
wall.
also another group. We have to see what this is next to Leary's walls in the middle. That is, okay, never mind, not important. So we go back to the crossbows. And Leary has not clicked ballistics yet. Viper has ballistics on the way.
Yeah.
So Leary, I mean...
Does that really matter against Leary, though?
It didn't against Jordan. It does against the Viper. Good job from Leary here to track this down. He does have the army numbers right now, Dave, so I think he's going to have to fall back. Wait till he gets his upgrades. I think moving it against Viper is risky.
I think this is an ideal start for Viper, though.
Definitely.
If you're going into an Empire Wars set, as both players are just kind of taking pot shots at each other, Leary has the hill there. If you're going into an Empire Wars set against Leary and you say, okay, you're going to make it up to Castle Age without losing a villager.
Yep.
You'll take that any day.
He has the hill here. Viper realizing ballistics isn't in, but it's interesting to see them both taking the fight considering the circumstances. Viper not wanting to fight uphill usually, and
kind of indecisive a little bit with this fight. And we can see Leary not even targeting the one in front. He's manually targeting the ones behind. The level of control this guy has is insane, and he's building up another army at the front. Leary taking a decent trade there, I think, as he comes into the wood line from Viper.
he needs to wait for ballistics. You do not attack these vills until
Yep.
ballistics is in. And oh my god, this could be huge!
That's terrible. Viper needs to see this right away and react right away. He's going to have his eye on the minimap, looking for red to appear. And
What?
that'll tell him that ballistics
What?
is in.
How is she not dead? Sorry,
She
Dave.
is like 1 HP.
That's insane to me.
Literally.
But yeah, now Viper's scrambling up town centers. Now, Dave, this is my concern for Viper. He doesn't have the wood to continue the crossbow production because of these TCs.
And he doesn't have safe wood lines
And he
either.
doesn't have siege yet. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Leary could definitely pressure the Viper. We'll see if he's going to push home his advantage here, which is what he has to do.
Yeah. And this is what Leary does. He creates a hole in your wall. He sees 2 TCs. He sees you have an army, but he still decides to go in because he knows that he's most likely better.
Yep.
We'll see if Viper can contend with him in these crossbow battles, Viper, with 3 TCs and a Viking economy, Leary needs to do damage. And Viper has a counterattack. I love this. If he can get in on the wood line there from Leary, potential of a couple villagers going down.
Viper's eco balance is all out of whack, but if he could get some, well, first off, that lumber camp's horrible in the first place, but if he could get some counter damages as we see Leary there, this could be huge. And Leary's probably microing both armies right now.
Has not noticed this yet. Okay, notices in time, but 2 more villagers going down.
Big clear up on the front.
Oh.
This is just Leary pressuring with military and Viper thinking that the Viking eco is all he needs.
Yeah.
Dave, he does have elite skirm now, but can Viper afford elite skirm? Look at his eco.
He tried to wall behind Leary with that one villager, but he decided to go back, and I think that man died anyway.
26 on gold, 700 gold. He's making skirms right now. This is disaster situation for the Viper, who only has a 6 villager lead.
Definitely needs market or something to balance his economy. He's got way too many on gold. You can see how much pressure Leary is putting on him, but still, Tristan, 58 villagers, 3 TC with a Viking economy, even though you have that much on gold, it still feels dangerous.
You asked me about siege earlier. I think this would be a great time for forward siege. We'll see if Leary wants to do that. He might feel like he needs to add it more economy, but I think
Those
forward
crossbows
siege
so
would
weak.
pressure those town centers. And yeah, you have some weak crossbows there for Viper, but he does have fully armored skirms and that old reliable Viking eco. Look at Leary with the crossbow. Get out of here.
Is that even worth it?
For him it is, because he can focus on everything else.
Yeah.
For other people, no. And I think we're going to see Leary try and go up towards Imperial Age or something.
Oh, look at that. Viper just,
Oh!
well, I had a little bit of gold in the bank. I guess I'll balance my eco there as he buys, how much food was that? Like 800 worth of
Too much. It's all spent. He spent it already, but Dave, he did need to do that.
He's adding farms so slowly, too. We could see Leary with 16 on food. Viper, we saw this in the games yesterday against Stout. We saw this in previous sets. When he gets too busy in Empire Wars, he forgets to add farms.
Well, the problem is he's made a lot of work for himself now. He's fallen back to TCs and not military control. And this is what, you and I had that conversation of, I think Viper needs to play his own game against Leary, not try and change the style. Leary has shown that he's just going to punch you in the face. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It doesn't matter if you accept it. He's going to do it.
This
and
could be bad for Leary, though, if he's not careful there. Okay, never mind. Leary's just going to casually micro his way out of it while microing on the other side.
God.
2 groups of units he's manually controlling at the same time. How many hands does he have? I didn't notice
I think he's got
third.
2. Yeah, I think he's got 2, but I haven't inspected
Siege.
at least.
He made it defensively at home, and the Mangonels are going to be very, very effective against the skirmishers. Viper going for a siege workshop of his own, kind of forward a little bit. Leary hasn't spotted that yet. Still only 1 TC for Leary, though. 75 villagers for Viper. The macro behind this has been pretty good, other than not adding farms.
The Viper is 20 villagers ahead, but 3 steps behind.
Yep.
Leary has the military control. Leary's going to click up
he's
to the
gonna go
Imperial
up
Age
10.
faster. And if Viper doesn't trade against the armies, which he's going to try and do here, this is Leary in peak form. This is the exact situation that Leary dominates in.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Leary go to stone at some point as well and try and get a forward position. Leary has 2 Mangonels. Viper needs to stay away from that. Might lose the siege workshop too.
Honestly, I think it's good for Leary to just sit on that hill. And he wrecked the wood line. He wrecked the wood line. He's got to react here, and he gets the 1-for-1. And this is perfect because he's not allowing Viper to trade against all of his armies. And that's what Viper will want to do.
Although this is good for Viper, clearing up a few crossbows. Looks like he might be going for a counterattack to the north there. I'm not sure what that army is.
Oh, he needs a repair build
comprised
here,
of.
Dave. He needs a repair build here. He's got to be careful about all this.
Another siege workshop for Viper. Okay, just skirmishers.
Decent fight for Leary there on that side. Leary closing in on Imp. Viper with the shot. He misses the shot. He deleted, and he completely whiffed on the shot. And now he continues to be pushed back. He's losing more villagers, Dave. This is trouble for the Viper. If Arbalest is in for Leary, he is the most dangerous player in this position.
Yeah, and Viper's not even close to clicking up to Imp. Like I said, he doesn't have the food economy.
He's also making a lot of skirms. He's kind of in a forever Castle Age situation, and good for him. He did make a second siege workshop as he is a skirmisher counterattack. And Leary's like, just look at the difference. Leary's like, okay, time to boom, second TC.
Yeah, that's actually going to be kind of annoying if you're in Leary's position, because you didn't tech into skirm. Maybe you can make like a knight from the stable that you had before, but dealing with that is going to be somewhat frustrating as you need most of your crossbows forward to get upgraded to Arbalest to start doing damage. Okay, he's bringing back a Mangonel in defense, but if Viper stays close to that Mangonel,
he's got too much to work on.
continue to be annoying.
Oh my goodness, Dave. I'm so tense right now. I don't know about the viewers. I don't know about the players. I'm sure they are.
Oh,
And
that's a
Leary
good
makes
clear up.
big mistake there.
That was a trail of death in front of Viper's 2 archery ranges there as he clears up that stuff, and he's going to get a castle down. Leary needs a castle of his own, or he needs to take in a bombard cannon, and he needs a position on the middle with a clump of arbalists. But Viper, over the last minute, has been doing a fantastic job as he takes out a mangonel in clearing up the arbalists from Leary.
Leary he went fast imp for 13 units.
Yeah.
13 units.
Credit to Viper, man. Credit to Viper for wiping up this military, and he's bringing more skirmishers, Tristan. What units are there going to be for Leary to upgrade?
Leary's got 30 on gold right now. Viper with some sick micro. Viper's economy's looking so much better. The fast imp has not worked yet for Leary. Viper just microing against the Mango. This is exactly what he needs here. And like Leary, he needs more ranges, Dave. He needs more wood for that. He's got nothing.
He's got 5 arbalists, Tristan, 4 arbalists now. Why do you go Imperial if you don't have any units?
That's a pause. That is not a GG. That is a pause. I was about to scream if Leary actually GG'd this because the moment bombard cannons start to come out, Viper's still like 40 on wood, doesn't have the best macro. Viper's not in a situation where he's going to go imp.
I don't know what this pause is about. I mean, maybe Leary a little bit frustrated after losing the units, or maybe there was a technical issue, but man, am I stressed out. He smiles at the camera.
Yeah, I think they probably said, hey, you, look over here, but he's I think, going to consult Krazzini about something. Maybe something's going on.
I don't think
or
there
maybe
was
they
a
just need
drop or
second.
anything like the Doubt game, because they were both moving around at the very end there.
Yeah, that doesn't look to me, that very much looked to me like a pause,
Yeah,
and I think they're back in now.
They're back in already. Okay, we're being told it was just a pause, so maybe Leary just needed to compose himself a little bit. Still though, Tristan, I'm looking at the food count from Viper, and he still only has 15.
He will never go in. He needs to make skirms. He will never be able to go imp while making skirms. This is like such a Leary position to be in. 30 vills behind, excuse me. Let's see what he's made of here in the biggest stage of his career. And I mean, those 2 Arbalest, I would have just forgotten about those. They're going to be microed away. We're going to see more units running forward.
Yep.
Expect a bombard cannon at some
Another TC
stage.
for Viper. Okay, now he's adding farms, but you're making skirmishers, you're making 4 TCs. Okay, maybe it was that tiny little bit of lag that we just saw there. We're catching up to the player's point of view there as a castle goes down on the right hand side.
Good fight for Viper here.
Another good fight for him.
Basically what Viper's trying to do here is he knows he has the ability, right? So he's trying to place castles and fortifications everywhere he can. The problem is, if Leary tries to forget about the raids as Viper with a Mangonel raid, what the?
Wait, who are you and how did you get there?
Oh man, and Viper gets rocked, but anyways, that was kind of funny. As Viper gets destroyed.
He couldn't decide whether he wanted to commit or whether he wanted to run away, and that's the worst situation to be in if you're taking a fight against a Mangonel like that. But still, 2 castles for Viper. It's going to take Leary some siege to clear this up and to get a good position. And now I'm looking at the number on food for Viper. He's at 27. He's at 28 now. He's getting himself into a situation where he can click up to the next stage. 40 villagers ahead.
Can he keep his stone count high enough here, Dave? That's what I'm going to keep my eye on. He's actually mining that stone. He made a tower there, which is kind of interesting, but
he needs to repair the castles, basically.
Yeah, he's going to need to, and Leary needs to pressure the castles. Viper using the market, trying to cook up.
Yeah, that was good balancing from him.
I love this.
Suddenly, look at his resources, Tristan, and look at how many villagers he has on the field, and look at this clearing up another Arbalest army. Viper has been pressured by Leary all over this game, but he's been able to handle it and able to clear up the numbers before Leary can get a big ball that he needs.
Leary does have more military right now. He does have 1 bombard cannon. I'm struggling to find where it is, but I imagine it's on the way to the castle. There it is. Leary needs to keep a close eye on that. Viper's going to be relocating villagers from all these different resources. Viper also is going to need the resources for chemistry, bracer. He needs armor as well, and he doesn't even have the resources for a single one of those upgrades.
Yeah. Only 21 on farms now.
Leary has
I
7.
keep looking at that number. It's just, Leary doesn't need it. He needs wood and he needs gold. He needs bombard cannons and arbalists.
Tell me that's not Viper's MTC. Can we confirm this, please? Oh my God! No way,
That would be such a disaster. Viper needs to commit for that bombard cannon now.
There's no way. He has to cancel it right now. He has to accept that TC will go down. He cannot fight that. I cannot believe he chose. He probably thought the pressure would come
Here
up
come
the
the
middle.
skirmishers, though. I mean, if he sends enough villagers to repair it, that will also let Leary know he distracts a little bit.
Maybe
He's
you're
sending
right,
more
Dave.
villagers.
Maybe
He's
you're
going to
right.
commit with the skirmishers, take out the arbalest, and then he can rush down the bomber cannon with the villagers if the arbalists are
Wow.
not there, and he's saving it.
Wow.
What a crucial moment in game number 1. That was Viper's MTC. Leary almost taking that down, and now Viper has saved it and probably saved his chances at victory here.
Yeah. I mean, now at this point, Leary didn't spend that whole time attacking the castle, so Viper's eco's looking much better, Dave. I know that his food count's gone down, but I think that was because of a garrison. Will Viper be able to have equal military numbers? 50-50 fights? They're fine for Viper. This economy is insane.
I was watching Viper's face during that, and he was a stone cold killer while that was going on. Inside, I'm sure there was many of you in the Twitch chat, on YouTube, whatever, that were freaking out like
I couldn't
we
believe
were.
that. Yeah, I could not believe that that was actually the MTC. That was nuts. Now, what I like about Viper, this is the 3rd time, and this is considerable compared to the previous times, but he's applying pressure to Leary. He's not just responding to Leary, he's also countering. And there's been a few instances that I think that has distracted Leary from his ultimate goal. And this is going to mean that these arbalests are not running across the map, Dave.
Yeah, and the more time that goes by here, once Viper's in Imperial and Leary can't do any damage, it gets worse and worse for Leary. As Viper has another army over here, Leary's going to clear up some villagers, but it's still 108 to 82 villager count here in favor of the Norwegian. He's going to have skirmishers on the left side distracting military. Leary does not have that push that he needs through the center, and he's going with a castle now. Viper will need a response to these bomber cannons.
Yeah, I think the push is coming, Dave, and Leary's so confident this position will not be lost. He wants to drop a castle there, which would be huge. Viper still doesn't have the final armor upgrade, which means his skirmishers are not that good against Ethiopian Arbs. He's lacking so many big things. Leary's going to place that castle now.
These skirmishers, are they going to be fast enough? I don't think so. I think they're going to be too slow getting over here. Leary now with 4 bombard cannons. Viper's going to have to hope for some miracle shots with this mangonel. Leary sees it.
Ooh, does he?
Viper.
Ooh. If Viper kills that, that's huge reward for him, but nope. You're going to see Leary use the arbalest, no problem.
And skirmishers are here. So a little bit distracting. It gives him time to repair that castle. He still has stone income. Taking out some of the arbalists. Can he take down these bombard cannons? One bombard cannon getting weak. Viper attempting to snipe it. He gets it. He's attacking the villagers. The castle will go up. But can Viper hold until he gets a trebuchet out on the field, or until he gets those crucial upgrades for his military?
His treb is very late, Dave. His armor upgrade is very late, but Viper's still maintaining a 20 villager lead. He even has a military lead, but he's about to run out of stone. We'll see if he expects this, because if he does, he should probably buy some stone. He's only got those stone miners there. And again, another counterattack from Viper.
I love this rating on the right-hand side. He can sacrifice a few military units just to bring Leary's attention back home, hope for a mistake at the front, and hold on for his dear life, because if Leary ever gets a snowball here, it's going to be so tough to stop. And look at
oh my God,
Viper continuing to buy resources. He's been doing it this whole game. His eco balance has been a little bit off.
Expect another castle here. I thought it would be forward. Leary making a more defensive castle, which is, I guess that area is pretty exposed.
But look at this.
Oh, there goes the Viper. I love the confidence to do this. I love this because now Leary will have to react, meaning Leary's push on the front will not be as successful. It gives Viper time and potential to snipe that army.
Villager gap is only 20 now. It was at 40 at one point.
But the eco upgrades, dude. Like, no horse collar, no wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Leary needs to kill, and Viper knows it. So Viper says, you know what? I'm just going to take some risks here. I think my economy's stronger. And Dave, this is going to do so much damage.
This is, and the final armor upgrade comes in, and chemistry comes in at exactly the right time. And look at how
Where
exposed.
are the arbs?
Look at how
There's no
exposed
arbs.
these are. He can just dive under the castle. It's probably worth it to take these bomber cannons out. Those are the main threat, and I think Viper is going to win game 1 if it continues like that. Viper.
He sniped 2.
He pulled all the military from Leary back to his base with that raid.
And
it
look
was
at the
so
numbers.
good.
Look at the numbers. How was Viper at 175 pop? How? We wanted to know if Viper would be able to defend from Leary's cutthroat style. Well, so far, so good for him. He's got a treb there, Dave. I don't think it ends here. I think Leary continues, but man, oh man, Viper's looking good.
Yeah, that raid's going to be so annoying, and more units on the right-hand side. I love the way he's just left an arbalist here, a skirmisher there, just to distract Leary, kill as many villagers as he can. Viper is now trebbing Leary's castle in the center of the map. He's going to be able to take that down. There's only one villager there to repair, and the production from Viper 9 Arbalists in the queue, 6 Skirmishers. He's still making vills as well.
Yep. The beauty of Viper's position against Ethiopians, you don't need to make any other units. There's no tech switch needed here.
Go forward and kill those bomber cannons. That's a bit sloppy that he loses that tread, but good micro from Leary there to notice that they're out of place. Viper still sitting on the farms. Leary still with 10 on farms. He doesn't need food. He just needs wood. He just needs gold, but he's on the clock a little bit here as Viper looks like he wants to tech into Siege Ram.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Viper getting some crucial eco upgrades, but he's still miles ahead of Leary in that regard. And just Skirm at this point.
That's
like,
good game
only
sense from Viper.
Skirmisher
Yeah.
is just going to dominate every area of the map except for where the castles are for the Viper. So Leary, as he goes Onager, you just rarely see him fall into this
another
position.
force.
I'm struggling to see what Leary can do at this point in time.
Another force, T90, coming from the right-hand side. Force at the north of the map and clearing up those Arbalists there. Leary needs to respond in 2 different locations. If Viper can get another Trebuchet or another siege unit, aka the Rams on that castle, Leary will lose that middle position.
I'm a little surprised to see Viper clicking armor right now for Cav, but I don't think he needs to do that, Dave. He's got an amazing position right now. Just Rams, Arbalest, Skirmishers, just keep doing what you're doing if you're the Viper.
Does Leary have a response if Viper goes light cav? What, I guess he goes into some pikemen, but like with what food economy? Viper knows he's sitting on his farms.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, maybe Viper's just taking a precaution here against Onager. He did see a lot of mangonels there, and maybe he's assuming Onager's the choice. And yeah, Dave, there you see the light cav click. What Leary needs is this. He needs to actually push.
He needs that gold, apparently.
He has not been pressuring Viper, and that's been his problem.
He's going forward for the gold in Viper's base. That was a big shot there on the Skirmishers. Viper will move them back and follow up with another force. Has to be really careful over here because Leary has wisely put Onagers in defense on the left-hand side. Gonna lose that though. Great attention to detail there from Viper. And he's coming forward with the Rams. He's gonna ignore that castle completely and come over to the eco.
You see what I mean though about Onager? Like, it's so awkward to use at this level. Viper's still able to take that out.
He's still on the farms too.
He's everywhere. I would love to see Viper scouting right now. If we could have that from Mapu, our wonderful observer here. Look at the scouting from Viper.
Yep.
There's not a resource he does not see. There's not an army he is not paying attention to. And he even is going to be able to attempt a push up the middle right now.
Yeah, and he snuck those 3 Rams past Leary, so he could do some damage with that. Leary spotting the siege workshops. He's gonna be able to push in here, but Viper wins, and Leary calls it for game number 1 upon seeing the light cav, upon seeing the damage to his economy. Viper with such an impressive win. That was vintage Viper.
It was vintage Viper. It was the Viking using the Vikings. And Dave, there were some antsy moments there, but he got a massive eco lead and he held on. And for Leary, he probably got into the position, thank you, Villager. He probably got into the position he wanted to be in, but he didn't have enough follow through with the Arbalest and Bomber Cannons.
Oh, we're in for a good set. We're in for a good set, because you know Leary's gonna win a couple.
Oh,
and our
at
biggest, I
least.
think, the biggest worry coming into this, as we've seen in past Wololo events, is that Viper's gonna try to be too cute.
He wasn't
some of
really
his
cute.
strategies.
It wasn't that cute.
No,
it was kind of ugly
dangerous.
for a while.
It was dangerous. He banked on the Viking eco, and the Viking eco pulled through. Oh man.
Now let's talk about how this whole best of 7 is going to play out, because for the Viper fans out there, they're probably like, yeah, domination, and the Leary fans are crying. But listen, Vikings has been seen to be the best Empire War civilization. It was the #1 pick for Viper. He should be getting wins with his #1 picks.
Yeah.
Ethiopians kind of in the middle there, and we said, Dave, that Leary's probably the only player who really makes Ethiopians look good in the first place. So there were some massive differences in terms of what the Civs were able to do here. It's not a Civ win, you've got to play like a god, but that is something that Leary would have looked at and said, you know what, I'm gonna have to play amazing to get this win. If I don't get the win here, then, you know, whatever, I've got some good Civs left.
Yeah, and it was that transition period from Castle to Imperial Age. Viper wiped up all the crossbows from Leary, and that's what you need when you get there fast with Ethiopians. The 1 TC imp play we've seen so often from Leary. I mean, you need those numbers, and we're gonna pull in our analyst desk here, have a little bit of a conversation about that game. What did you guys think? Was that vintage Viper or what?
I mean, thanks so much, Dave, and a great call so far from you two. We're seeing Viper at his best, I think. We're seeing Viper pull out all the stops. He wants to leave nothing on the table. He wants this trophy, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get it.
His first time, actually, that the Ethiopians didn't work for Leary. He was with a 100 radio wind, and it didn't work. One TC, but he was missing a lot of fabrics, and when he tried to attack, the Viper did 2 castles, and from there, he came back with the Vikings economy nearly.
Yeah, also all the skirms catching the Abeles off guard shortly before they actually became Abeles. We had the same matchup when they faced in the group stage, right? But with reverse civilizations, and also there Vikings won with different approaches actually, because Leary went for way more skirmishes, the Viper this time with only archers. And it's really interesting that Leary played only one TC. I think typically he plays like 2 TCs with Ethiopians.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and then he did the second TC after, but he never got a proper economy. He never did horse collar. I don't know, Dave, if he did horse collar.
No,
at the end.
I don't think he did it
No.
at the end there, man.
Or wheel. But
No.
To be honest, though, forget about it because he needed to do more damage with the earlier
Yeah.
attack. It had nothing to do, like, eco upgrades would have mattered a lot more, but I think it was the indecision with the bombard cannons.
And-
He attacked a TC, he attacked a castle, he was all over the place.
And the raids from Viper while he was being pushed.
That was so
amazing.
clutch.
But
Yeah.
anyway, we have an interview here with Britt in our player chamber in the back, I believe. So we are going to cut to her.
All right, thank you everyone. I am here in the player chamber, also known as a green room. We're all watching the final with such intensity. Doubt is with me. What do you take for this first match? Like, what do you think of everything?
They're not holding anything back. They're going as we expect. Viper more macro style, Leary trying to abuse the micro, and full. They're both playing full potential. There is no holding back, I can tell you that much.
Do you think it's going to be like this the entire time? Just 1-1? Just keep taking it like that?
I hope so, I really hope so, because it's one of the best players in the world, both of them, right? And more games we get, more fun we get, right?
All right, if you can go into the next match and give Leary any advice, what would you say?
I don't want to give you Leary advice. I cheer for Viper.
Okay. Yeah, all right, let's go. Okay, well, back to you guys.
Britt is beginning to become familiar with Doubt.
She's like, I can't even interview this guy.
Yeah.
That was funny. Well, Dave, we're focused in now. Game 2 coming up. I'd love to see the civilizations and the maps. I believe Leary's just going to go for his best map of the tournament, and that would probably be Atacama.
Atacama, yeah, or Acclivity. He's been really good on Acclivity, but maybe he wants to open it up a little bit after playing against the Vikings on Runestones. He wants to go with Atacama. Bulgarians are a good pick. Magyars are a good pick.
There's a lot of good picks
Yeah.
out there. It's almost terrifying to pick Atacama when Viper has Kumans and Huns, which are so solid. But I think logically it makes sense. You want to bounce back, and you just want that mental strength going into potential game 3. You got to go for your best map and best civ here.
Yep. He also has Wing too. So
They're
crazy,
similar.
crazy maps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're similar.
Yep. Same civs are good on both of those. Viper has the Sicilians, which may be a decent Atacama civ. We saw them on Winged. We saw them on Haboob being successful.
I think after seeing game 1,
Yeah.
full boom into skirms, I think Viper might want Sicilians on Acclivity just like he did in the semis.
True.
Just
Yeah.
like defensive, farms, skirms, eco, you know? Like, it worked before, but who knows? Looks like they are going to be into game number 2 in just a moment, folks. And
He's got Khmer too.
Yeah, Khmer. Viper
Really
with
good civ,
Khmer.
yeah.
Viper was good with Khmer before Khmer were good.
Yeah, that was his favorite civ. He was
Yeah.
memeing with them before they got the balance change for the farms.
Yep.
And then everything changed for that civilization for the better as we make our way into game number 2 fairly soon here. That wonderful Viper banner and the beautiful banner from Leary. Viper looks focused. Are we in there?
We must be. I think we're going to hop in here in just a moment, find out what that map is, what the civs are. Look at the player's eyes, people. You only get this experience out of land. They're looking at the mini-map and resources,
Yep.
and then the game, and then, you know, that's a pretty big screen for them as well.
Yeah. Okay, game number 2. Get hyped. Game number 2, we've got Magyars versus Huns on Atacama. And Huns are really good on this map because it has the pawns now. We added that a few editions ago. It has the pawns, and with Huns, you don't need to make houses, which maybe gives you a little bit of extra wood, gives you an opportunity to go to those pawns and get some fishing eco, but they're really close.
Yeah, look at the scouting, Dave. On Atacama, the generation can be so weird. And unless I'm mistaken, Leary has not confirmed that Viper's going for a range yet. Oh, there he sees it. But it can be a little tricky. They both looped around the wrong way. Ultimately, this is an all-in map. This is a control the wood in the middle map. This is a map that does not go late most times. And Viper choosing the archer range opening where Leary is going for the scouts, but that's what we expect from the Magyars.
Yeah, and Viper going for some spearmen in defense, going out to those deer, hasn't gone for the dock yet. I think he'll add that in if he feels like he's in a more safe position where he doesn't need production right away. Leary adding an archer range. Viper already with some units in defense. He's not going to head out with those yet. And I think if you send, oh, he is. If you send them out, I think you need 2 spearmen. He's got 1 spearman with that.
Well, the spearman's actually just waiting for them.
Oh,
He was told to wait, and it's going to be there, and we're going to see a villager picked off. Now, the difference here is Viper does not have wheelbarrow for free.
Yep.
So he does not have a sick economy behind this, and let's see if Leary can defend, because Viper could easily get some counter damage in here, Dave.
Yeah, and how many scouts are in that stable from Leary as Viper comes in here, takes out the spearman from Leary. He's on the gold. He's going to push him off the deer. If he kills these deer villagers, that's so important because they have so much food in their arms.
Oh, I'm very surprised to see Leary was late reacting there, Dave. He did react with the other villagers,
And
but yeah,
Viper's
he's going to
pushing
bring
him
the
away
scouts
at his
back
base
now.
too.
Holy spearmen for the Viper. He has 7 spearmen. It's like MBL here in the finals.
This is very, very aggressive style here from the Viper. 5 archers, 7 spearmen, not going for the scouts. Leary, on the other hand, 6 scouts on the field. He does have forging, hasn't gotten the armor or bloodlines yet.
This would be the time to think about docking, Dave. Some players won't, but this would be the time. And Leary making a misplay with his scouts there. His scouts got rocked by the spearmen.
Very uncharacteristic.
And both of them. He lost one, and that one, Viper blocked it. I'm fairly certain he blocked it and ran in front intentionally. And unless Viper makes any big mistakes,
and we'll see if Viper,
this has been a dream start for him.
Yeah, we'll see if he notices that those red dots on the mini-map that just came into his base here as he takes an engagement in Leary's base, and he hasn't noticed yet, Tristan.
No.
These scouts do have forging. He will pull them back, but I think 2 villagers at least will go down to these. His scout in defense will go down, and he's sending an archer. He's sending more villagers to engage.
Why didn't he run back to the TC, Dave?
And he's not attacking the gold either. He's so distracted.
That was the opposite of what Viper needed as a follow-up there, but the action will continue here. Leary with a massive lead now, and Viper's counterattack isn't really the strongest. It's just 3 archers and some spearmen, but oh, that's awkward.
That's
okay.
not bad.
That's fun.
Okay, he's gonna kill a villager over there, most likely. Leary hasn't noticed. You can see how crazy this map is. Leary being attacked in 2 different locations and attacking Viper. Viper will now have spearmen in defense, so if Leary goes in for that, likely the scouts will be taken down. He needs to run, quick walling his gold, and he's back on the gold again. Leary cannot get a break from this pressure.
Yeah, this is what happens on Atacama, Dave, but it's so important. If you're getting attacked, you just accept it and move on.
Stable.
Send the army forward here. Leary, I think, needs to be careful with those scouts, Dave. He does have skirms on the field. I think Viper's going to need more scouts of his own.
Yeah, second stable for Leary, so he's going all in scouts. We saw only the starting scout for Viper until now. He's producing another one.
Oof.
The spearman getting some more good hits. Viper's been really good with that so far.
Not Leary's best game in terms of scout micro, I will say that, but this is still a good position for him. It's tricky, though. If Viper comes out with the scouts, suddenly those skirmishers are completely canceled out of the equation.
Do you see even just that little split there? Dodging the skirmisher attack? It's so nice to see both of these players on their peak level here as Viper pushes forward, choosing not to go all in scouts, which is usually the strategy on this map.
Well, he is going to have some stables behind this.
And
He's
he
got a
does have a
dock in the
dock,
north,
nice.
and Dave, Viper's military position is absolutely insane right now. Like this is if
he's
he
going to
can
block
follow
the
this
villager
up.
with the scout and shoot it with the
Wait, why is there a
archers.
villager there? Viper? That's the second time I've seen in this tournament where he accidentally sends a vill forward. I know that there's this weird TC bug that he has from time to time, where he's like moving too fast and accidentally sends his gather point forward. So that's definitely hurting his economy, Dave.
Yeah, 1 villager forward. A lot of other players might have said, well, I got a villager forward, let's tower it. But Viper realizing that probably isn't a smart idea with 1 villager. However, he is camping on the gold from Leary. And all of this pressure is adding up. Leary needs to gather his scouts, wait till enough, and then pounce.
Look at the amount that Viper has on food right now. He hasn't had to abandon any crucial resources. He is also fishing. I think Viper has the lead, and Leary is going to need a big engagement here, and he's waiting for it, Dave.
Yeah, he's waiting for it. He knows he needs to wait until he has enough before fighting. He doesn't want to lose the numbers prior to that. Viper now getting forging. Viper has the armor for the scouts, does not have bloodlines yet. Leary, fully upgraded feudal scouts.
Can we look at Leary's wood situation, please, Mapu? Let's look at Leary's wood situation. This is horrible.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, this is Atacama for you. And when you're pressured off of the other wood lines and you have to wall and whatnot, it really becomes a problem. And I bet if we look at Viper's eco, his eco is looking a lot better in terms of wood. It's not great, but it certainly is a little better.
And the scouts are pouncing. The scouts are pouncing on the archers. Viper looped his scouts around to attempt to do damage. He looped them through the middle, and now he's going to have to come back, Tristan. He's not going to get there in time, I don't think. I think Leary's going to get some great hits on the archers. Viper will arrive, so he will take a decent engagement, but if those scouts were there from the beginning...
What in the world? That was so uncharacteristic of Viper. He had the position, Dave. He has the stable production as well. He should be able to reinforce with scouts, and he's given Leary an opportunity. And Leary, his eco-efficiency might not look good at the bottom right, but his micro is insane in the middle of your screen.
And Bloodlines is making...
Viper's in trouble.
The Viper researching Bloodlines just a moment ago. Leary had it initially, was able to tank some hits from those archers, pounced on the archers, took out the scouts now, and the Magyars are showing why they are so strong on this map as Viper goes for a defensive tower and some quick walls.
Good tower. I like how he didn't even like think about it. You know, he's like, you know what? Just in case, protect this gold. If we don't have the gold, we're in trouble.
Yep. Remember, Viper has fishing ships.
Look at the wood situation now for just a moment. Vipers, villagers, they're running all over creation. Leary's got very efficient wood chopping. Those villagers there. Keep an eye on the bottom right, people, to the worker efficiency last minute. It is completely flipped, and Viper's going to lose villagers here.
Yeah, I think Leary is feeling very comfortable now after maybe a shaky start with Viper all over his economy, but Viper has so many villagers there that Leary cannot engage. Leary has to pull back. There was like 15 villagers attacking those scouts, so no opportunity there without Leary losing his entire army.
Villagers, though, and Leary, aware that maybe he needs to just keep shifting around, Dave. Should we be surprised that Leary hasn't killed more yet?
I think Viper's defense has been so good here. And Viper has been adding fishing ships behind this. I mean, he's got 4 fishing ships.
Go up.
He might be able to go to the other pond with that villager, finding those skirmishers. Leary maybe sensing that Viper was up there with something. Still hanging around his base, still has the group of archers, and he's going to be able to click up. I can't believe in this situation, after losing all those scouts in the middle, Viper is still alive and well at his base.
Well, you better believe it, Dave, and it is going to be interesting because Viper's archers are weak. Leary's going all in Castle Age. Viper needs to hold for 2 minutes, and it's a struggle for me to see if this is going to be possible. Like, you can see how many villagers are there. If he doesn't defend, he will die to this scout rush.
And he's going cav archers.
Yeah, eventually, I think that's a good play. Maybe some knights as well. We saw MBL going knights against scouts from Hera in their semifinal. But Dave, this is where Leary starts to kind of like, he starts to switch positions constantly. Viper just has that archer army. So Viper cannot be in every location. I think Leary's just now realized that like all of Viper's eco is right there.
Yep. Right there on the gold, on the wood, and you need wood to produce cav archers, so this is not looking good for the snake.
They're all chopping one tree.
He's running around with 2 different armies back here. He's putting pressure. They're all chopping one tree. Like you said, it's getting pretty bad for Viper, and Leary still has military streaming across the field. Groups of 2, groups of 3, scouts coming in, skirmishers coming in, picking off the villagers, and Viper can only respond to 1 army at a time.
Leary's just waiting for the moment to pounce on the archers, because the thing is, if he kills the archers before they're upgraded, Viper is completely dead.
Look at all
Viper
the
will be in Castle Age without any eco.
Look at all these villagers. They're just standing around.
They're looking for jobs, and then they get hired, and then they get fired constantly. The job market is horrible.
Mapu pointing it out, 32 wood. 32 wood. It says he has 17 on wood, but it is incredibly inefficient. Leary is doing all the right things here as he continues to spam scouts. Look at that number, Tristan. 23 scouts on the field of battle right now with 3 more in production. Viper reaches the Castle Age.
Oh, here it comes, Dave. Here's the fight. Those archers will go down to these scouts. The upgrades are coming in now, but it's villagers or archers. This is brutal for the Viper.
Yeah, and it's so tough to micro villagers against this. Leary can just patrol in. Viper is desperately getting the upgrades. He's getting crossbow. He's getting bodkin, but the scouts are so strong. And there's skirmishers behind taking out the crossbow numbers. The villagers are just standing around. Leary will lose his scouts, but how much did Viper lose there? The eco KD is 15-2.
And Leary still hasn't docked. That's crazy to me that he didn't even think about docking behind this pressure. But Dave, Viper's not going to have anything. Like, where does he go for wood? If he goes to the middle, there's scouts there. Hi, Viper, how you doing? They're going to die.
Oh, well, I guess he can just go right through Leary's reinforcements, and Leary won't do anything about it because he's so busy on this wood line, killing everything.
This is masterfully timed from Leary. He was so patient. I would have dove in a minute earlier, and it might not have won the fight convincingly, but the timing was right. He realized how long it would take for crossbow and bodkin to come in, And despite the fact that Leary is in feudal age, Leary is going to take game number 2 here. We have a 1-1 final.
We have 1-1, Leary taking his home map, Atacama, especially after Viper had that excellent position. I think moving the scouts away to try and get cute and go for the counterattack, it lost him the middle of the map. And once you lose that, Leary can dictate the terms and run around your base with his scouts.
By the way, Viper won, he got some water.
Yeah.
Leary won, he got some water. Is that like a reward at this point in his castle?
I think usually when a player wins, it zooms in on them, and Mr. Goblet over there is refilling.
It's for the show.
Yeah, that production value. It's not an actual tavern, Tristan.
Oh, okay. I was just asking. I mean, it feels like a little rude to not give someone water if they want water. So that makes sense.
Okay.
But Dave, I'm with you. There was one glimpse of a moment, and Leary took it, and I think Viper, it was a misplay. A slight one, but a misplay to leave those archers alone.
Yeah. And to not even try to secure that wood line. Imagine when he was forward with the pressure, he put a lumber camp there, and then just even palisade to your TC.
Yeah.
And then Leary has mobility problems, right? He has to run all the way around your base or through your TC to get to that gold spot, to get to your wood at the back. It was a bit tough, and those are the mistakes that can cost you the game.
Look at the Civ picks in terms of position. Viper game 1, he goes for first pick, gets the win. Leary goes for pick number 5, gets the loss. Same exact scenario for game number 2. It's just the other way around. These players are very close, Dave, and after seeing the first 2 games, I have no doubt this is going 6 or 7 games.
Yep, this is crazy. And Viper didn't play bad there either.
No,
it's just one little tiny, maybe a few mistakes, but Leary is always there to punish. And Leary's always waiting to pounce, like we saw with 23 scouts.
Yeah.
Fully upgraded feudal scouts, the best unit I think you can make in feudal age, which is why they're so good on that map.
Potentially demo ships.
Oh, yeah, true.
It depends on the battlefield.
I will allow it.
It's funny because as I said that, I was like, this is such a nilly thing to say. And then you responded, oh man, well, game 3 should be on Viper's home maps, and the first one that jumps out to me was Enclosed. Enclosed is a very closed map compared to others, and I think he might want that type of a battlefield after experiencing what he just experienced.
Yeah, and those are the type of maps where you can really formulate a strategy. A map like Atacama, the strategy is make military units and take better fights, which plays right into Leary's hand every single time. On Enclosed, you have more time, you're farther from your enemy, you can pick your Civ, maybe wall up, maybe go for double TC strat like we saw from MBL.
Yeah, that was a
with
sick
the
game.
Cumans, Viper does have that Civ.
He does, and I think it wouldn't be a bad Civ even if you want to go aggressive.
Yeah.
What's interesting is he picked the Britons, I believe, wanting it for Enclosed. He did not get that. That was sniped out. So.
I'm sure he has a backup plan though.
Sicilians?
It could be Sicilians. Could be.
That would be nice.
I mean, do you play just boom? You play Archer Skirm at the beginning and then just boom?
The general outlook with Sicilians is, I believe, boom. A defensive style. The TCs build so fast, the castles build so fast. But we're going to find out in a moment. I am really excited to tell you guys that we have Capoch interviewing Doubt in our town center.
Hello, guys. Here next to me, we have Capoch. Maybe you know him, remember him from losing to me for 20 years. But now he is here, back to the action. Capoch, the games are getting closer. It's 1-1. Do you think we will have the 1-1 back-to-back games until the end of the series?
Well, yeah, probably, yeah. The last game was so close. I mean, like, if Leary didn't take a good fight, he could have been in real trouble, I think, because Viper was already in Castle Edge, so it could have gone either way, but Leary just waited, had enough patience to take the perfect fight before the Castle Edge upgrades for Viper kicked in. So I think he did really well there. Yeah, it can. I hope we go for a 4-3 or something like that. It's gonna be fun, and that's what everyone wants, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. And the civilizations were also a huge matter there. Not sure what's the next map, but so far, like, Ethiopians suit the Leary style, Magyars suit the Leary style. It's like the civilizations and they both pick the civilizations which choose their style, and cannot wait to see what's next. So back to the casting booth, and let's go for the game 3 to deliver as the previous two.
That was some professionalism from Dao.
He has a promising career in journalism.
Yeah.
That man.
Can we talk about how Kapwatch had to look up at him? I feel like
Okay, wait a second. Can we talk about how everyone has to look up at him?
that's true.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind
Literally,
of funny
not
because Kapwatch
figuratively.
had unfortunately lost to Dowd, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh hey, that guy looks kind of intimidating.
And of course, that's the first thing he brings up. This is the man
course.
that I've been beating for 20 years.
they didn't even need to give him a script.
No.
He just went with it.
No.
Anyways, I got to go look at my script to see what's next. Oh, it looks like we've got civilizations on our screen. And so let's speculate. Again, we're assuming Viper would go for enclosed here. We could be wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, to make things interesting in this time while we don't know, I really like Berbers for enclosed. You know, Berber's a civilization where you want to get to Castle Age. A little bit easier to get to Castle Age. We saw Veleza dominate with Berbers in late game as well. I feel like Berbers would be my pick. Or maybe Tatars for Leary if he wants to go for those archers.
Berbers for Leary. He does have acclivity. So does he save Tatars for that? He doesn't strike me as a real, like, cav archer guy, but you can still play early crossbow
Yeah.
with Tatars on that map.
I think Leary will probably go for Tatars or Vietnamese on acclivity. He almost always goes archers. So yeah, using process of elimination, maybe it just looks like Berbers stands out to me because Bulgarians will likely be used on something like Winged or one of the other really aggressive maps.
And we're going to give a shout out here to the Red Bull stats, which are available on the website if you type exclamation mark stats in chat, or if you scan that little QR code and
That's
push it
right
off the screen. That was good.
Wow, I'm
We're
so
getting
proud
better
of
at
myself.
this. If only this wasn't the last day.
Yeah, man, we're pros now.
I know.
Jeez.
So game number 3, Viper,
Oh, yeah.
enclosed. What's Civ? You said they banned Britons.
I think he goes Sicilians, dude.
Okay.
He's the fascination with Sicilians is fascinating.
Well,
to
I guess
me.
we can say it now. We were at dinner the first night.
Yeah.
And Tato comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Dave, what Civ do you think is best in Empire Wars?" I'm like, Sicilians. And he just shook my hand. And then he went on to Tristan, and he's like, "What Civ do you think is the best in Empire Wars?"
I
and
said Saracens.
Yeah, and he's like, "Ah."
He's like, guess again. And I think I ended up Sicilians the second time because I figured it would be something unique and
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
that we, didn't already know was strong in Empire Wars. It was funny though, like an hour before that, I was asking Nilly, like, how was the boot camp? What happened? He's like, I'm not telling you anything.
Yeah, they've been
He's like,
so.
I'm not telling you anything.
They've been so closed off here. So.
But then like Tato and Doubt were like, yo, let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
And Nilly later goes, they were so dumb to tell you anything.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you, Nilly, I appreciate that. We did wait till
Okay,
the final
game number
day.
3. Game number 3 here.
Aftermath.
Aftermath. The Viper playing as the Saracens, Leary playing as the Franks. A little bit stalled out here at the beginning for Viper as he's housed, but he has taken control of the trade workshop on the left. Pretty sloppy though to lose that scout right away, and he's trying to catch the scout from Leary. Maybe with 2 spearmen here, he can ring around the rosy and attempt to kill that. Leary will run around with the scout all day. And Viper takes control.
Leary's probably like, this is what you get for picking this map.
Yep.
I'm going to just run around in circles, but it is very important to control those trade workshops. They give you resources, and I feel like it makes the game more aggressive, Dave, because you can
Oh, is Leary
justify.
going to take this? Or is
What?
Viper going to take this? That's pretty careless from Leary to be dragged away from that trade workshop. But now it looks like he takes it back. So Viper went out of vision of that. If you go a certain amount of tiles away, you will lose those. For anyone who's not familiar, these trade workshops give you a trickle of resources. They give you wood, they give you food, they give you gold. They do not give you stone.
No stone.
So you can see it up above on the left-hand side for Viper, the right-hand side for Leary, the resources they are gaining from this. And in a pro match like this, every little bit helps as Viper goes for the market and Leary goes for double archery range.
I'm surprised to see that. I'm surprised to see this much military investment. If you consider the current situation,
Viper's up.
Leary is invested into double range, and he doesn't have a single trade workshop. Viper's also going to be in Castle Age faster, Dave. This is a dream start for the Viper.
Yeah, Leary's resources not looking as bad as I assumed they would.
Yeah.
Going double range, but I guess he just got those buildings up. Leary over there with 1 archer, 1 spearman. He's gonna take back that trade workshop on the right. Viper using that Saracen market. It's cheaper to build, and you also get a discount on the market rate. So he's using that to go up to the next age. He will likely go into Cav archers?
He did go knights before.
He did.
They have this strategy, and again, you know, we've had some conversations with the players now, where you use the market and go for knights as quickly as possible and go forward, go knight scorpion.
Ooh, good snipe there from Leary as Viper walls that one archer in, but Leary managed to get one villager, and Leary's gonna know that Viper's going knights now.
Yeah, and he died to it before in their best of 3, if
Nice
I'm not
gate.
mistaken. So when they played earlier on in the Swiss stage, Leary did die to it. I think his logic is expect it and try and kill as many villagers as possible. And if Viper's going to be offered this gold, it will be hard for him to use the market.
And he can't tower.
And
He
look at
can't tower
Leary.
it.
He's going for armor. Leary's trying to counter this strategy, Dave.
Leary's going for armor. He will be going into Spearman as the Franks. He's sitting on the gold from Viper. Where are the other golds for him? Viper, though, has access to both of those
of
trade
them.
workshops.
You
And
know
he can go to stone as Saracens because you can just sell that for
and
gold.
just sell it. And Viper's resources are insane because he has the workshops. It almost feels like this strategy is impossible to counter because you have to pressure Viper's eco before he makes knights, but then you also have to have the trade workshops, and it's almost like that's not possible. You've got to choose one or the other.
Yep, Leary finally getting control of one trade workshop. He is up to the castle age. Viper microing with these weak archers from Leary, trying to take it back. One thing I really love from Leary is when he realizes he's lost a fight, he doesn't over-micro. He never over-micros.
Leary never over micros?
Nope.
Never.
He just gives up on it. Dude, have you seen?
I've never, no. I know what you mean though. Sometimes with those two archers, just leave it on the hill. Opening with a camel there is the Viper, which is a little wasteful because he's not going to be able to clear those archers out. And this is giving Leary some precious time. 2 archer counterattack
I
from
like
Viper.
this from Viper. It's hard to notice that if you're in a crazy game like this
Tricky.
and you're in Leary's position. He did quick wall over there, so maybe he will move the villagers away at some point. Sending more archers over there in defense, but Viper still in control of both of those trade workshops. We know his economy's weak because he bought his way up,
Yep.
but with those trade workshops, it kind of balances it out a little bit.
Yeah, Leary's focus is now on defending himself, so there's no situation in where he can get those workshops, Dave. He is also Franks going to be making knights against a notoriously strong camel civilization.
Yeah. Viper coming forward, some red or yellow dots making their way across the field. The wood line is fully walled just in time. Great timing there from Leary.
Well, Leary needs to get his archers in here. If he can get his archers in here, then what can happen is he can actually defend himself from the other two
Is that
archers.
going to go down? Is that wall going to go down? It does go down, and the camel is in. The knights are into the wood line. The archers are there. There's some spearmen coming from Leary. This could be really annoying, but it looks like Leary will be here on time with the archers, with the spearmen. A couple villagers will go down, but that could have been so much more damage.
Oh, you got some villagers going down. This is going to be good for the Viper, who still has those workshops, Dave.
Yep.
And those knights are kind of wedged in against the wood line. The spearmen can't get through.
Oh, Leary lost a lot of villagers there. He lost like 4 vills.
Painful. He does have a lot of military, though.
Yeah, and he's clearing up some knights from Viper. A little bit careless there to run them right into the spearmen. Does Viper switch it up a bit now that he sees the amount of spearmen that Leary has, or does he just utilize the mobility?
I think the answer is utilize the mobility. Remember the last time I saw...
he's switching it up a little bit.
Okay, he's switching up a lot of bit.
Yep.
Because he's getting chain barding armor as well, so this is all very rare. But the last time I saw this, you didn't see Viper go CA. He went Scorpions forward. So Leary already has pikemen. I like the decision from Viper to go for the ranges.
Yep. He saw how many pikemen he has, too. He
Yeah.
saw like 6 or 7 over on that side. He's going to go for the trade workshops, maybe anticipates a push out there from Leary. Going to go for the one on the left. Leary coming forward with a lot of crossbows.
It's worth mentioning that when sets are very close, breaking someone's home map is oftentimes the key. This is Viper's home map, Leary with the score lead and population lead right now, but Viper will hold on to that trade workshop.
And get
can
the
he
other one.
stop that army?
Yep.
Can he stop that army in the middle? That is really tough to deal with right now.
Really, really tough, and all he needs is vision on that army to tell him it's coming in. Hopefully he notices it right as it gets near his walls so that it's not more damage than necessary on that gold. He's dropping a TC in the north and immediately pulls his villagers away. Tough for Leary to get even a single villager here. I don't think he has ballistics. Yeah, he doesn't have ballistics, hasn't gone for the university yet.
Leary's also going crossbow with Franks. So
Not
it's
a scalable
really-
unit, yeah.
It's not really a civilization you want to be going crossbow with. So the strategy is really tricky, but Vipers has to go for the defensive siege workshop now. I can't help but feel like that second archer range was a complete waste. He has not utilized that yet.
Big knight army big Knight army heading towards that wood line. Leary senses that something is coming, but I don't think that's enough in defense.
I don't think so
Viper
either.
has the +2. He's going to wipe up 1 crossbow, only 2 pikemen over there. If Viper ever gets in on that wood line with no armies there from Leary, it could be a disaster. And Leary's looping around. Viper already has a Scorpion. He already has a TC over there. Going to be really tough for Leary to do significant damage here if Viper responds on time.
Well, I think Viper will not be able to repair this comfortably. Leary's going to go for the repair villagers. That's 1, that's 2, that's the Scorpion probably. Nope, the Viper repairing another 3, 4. We're going to have 5, we're going to have 6. Leary says,
There's
I'll
a
take that all
Mangonel
day.
on the way from Viper, though. There's a Mangonel on the way, and Leary splits around it. The Spearmen all going down, though, and Leary has to back up.
Leary also had to defend. Viper also had to attack at that very same moment, and Viper still has those trade workshops, Dave. So I think Viper in the better position economically, which is very weird to say when he's got 6 on food.
This Civ on this map seems busted. As long as you control those trade workshops in the transition to Castle Age, you will have resources for these knights. And it just seems so strong. Leary forced to go into archers and spearmen early to defend against that, but that composition is immobile. It takes forever to walk from one end to the map to the other. You can see him microing against the siege from Viper. Viper getting the Scorpion shot here, the Scorpion shot there. And now Leary's going to contest for that trade workshop on the right. Those Cav archers are likely going to die.
Yeah, and they don't have Bodkin Arrow. It really feels like a unit that could only be used to hit the wood line for Leary. And you have Viper pounce here, and he's going to go for a big shot, and goodbye. Yep.
See ya.
Later.
They all died in a row.
That was, if I want to die, I want to die like that.
Viper I guess he just used the market a little bit.
A little.
Jeez.
Yeah, this Civ is pretty insane, but Viper's got to be careful because those monks are going to be needed if knights come in from the enemy.
Oh, that's so annoying, though.
That is annoying. I love that from Viper. I think that's what he intended, but he did not intend to lose these Cav archers and the monks there. He's got to defend his woodline, Viper.
Yeah, he'll be looking at the minimap, so he'll see this big blob of red coming in. The Cav archers will die. Like you said, I mean, they're only really a raiding unit at the moment. They weren't a pivotal part of his defense. He's got 1 more Mangonel in the queue in that siege workshop. He's hoping Leary maybe will pay attention on
Leary's base right now. But Leary's base right now, yeah, this is a big deal. Viper's in. He could go right into that gold. They're looking at 3 different moments. Yep. 3 different areas. And even though Leary has the army numbers, Dave, crossbows and pikemen are so cheap in comparison to
Mangonel coming out. Mangonel from the left. 1 from the right. And it looks like Viper's going to get some big shots there initially, but can he get another one?
I think Leary has to fight because he's not going to be able to get away from this.
Yep.
The pikemen, you just got to get some value, and this is really an awful situation now for Leary. I'm really questioning what he can do.
Well, he can bring the knights in and attempt to take out the siege. I know Viper had some monks, but I don't know where they are. Looks like they died in the middle of the map, and Viper continuing to use the market as the Saracens as all of his siege goes down.
Wow, those knights were the key there, Dave. And remember Viper losing those monks. If he had 2 monks there, he could be healing his army. He would not have lost the siege, but he's back with the Cav archers. How has this not been dealt with yet?
It's amazing to me, and I think it's because Viper has had quite a bit of idle TC time. Yeah, we can see the number right there. Leary with barely any, Viper with 5.5 minutes. The villager count is still close.
Yep.
Keep in mind, though, that Viper has had those trade workshops for a very long time.
Yeah, Leary, it's going to be tough for him to back away, but the tree actually helps him. Look at the pathing there. Viper's unit's unable to surround as quickly.
I think Viper wins this one. Once you kill a couple crossbows, suddenly the group gets a lot less effective.
Yep.
He's got some Cav archers behind that too. Leary's force will get wiped up there. Second TC, Leary wants to lock that down. It's been so annoying for him.
That's going to be
so
tough
far this game.
Well, look at that army from Viper. He's going right back to that area, and the units are pathing around the palisades. So actually, Viper might be heading towards the trade workshop. That makes more sense. Leary's still making crossbows. The guy just loves archers.
Viper is selling everything for gold.
At what point does he need to invest into actual eco? Because this is...
Look, he sold 100 food for 149 gold, and then he bought 100 food for 152 gold.
Stonks, man.
It doesn't seem efficient.
Stonks. Oh man. And Viper's resources going up and up in some ways, but down and down in other ways, as you've had Leary relying on actual economy. And Leary refuses to give up here, David. It's like every time he loses an army, he has an army of a similar size moving over. And that will be something we pay attention to. These knights might actually be needed for Leary to take out any siege, I think.
But those little raids are what kill you on maps like these.
True.
We saw it with MBL. Remember the
Oh,
one night
God.
killing like 9 villagers and Viper raiding 2 under the TC. Viper pulls the villagers back. There's a couple knights here. Leary doesn't have +2, so he has to be very careful, and Viper's economy is idled right now.
This just got extremely messy. The worker efficiency last minute's gone way down for Viper and Leary. I think he's got a pretty considerable lead right now, Dave. He's on 2 TC economy. He has all the eco upgrades he would want. And Viper has so many idols. Look at that town center.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything on gold, Dave. He could lie. He could not lie. Sorry, I think lying
There's a
would
castle!
not be good, but he could die to this, and that castle would completely cut Viper off of golden wood.
Yeah, and with the Knights there, that Scorpion's not going to do anything. The Knights are going to kill that Scorpion. Leary is coming in with the crossbows. He's taking back the siege workshops. Looks like on the right, on the left, the villagers are coming forward. The camel has spotted it, though, and Viper has another force heading towards those villagers. We could see Leary killing villagers at Viper's base, but Viper is going to find the villagers coming forward.
And Leary can't really get his army to those vills because it's on the left of the TC, so he's got this tiny army, but that army's kind of cut off from this. And I don't know if people were paying attention, but Leary reacted to that like, oh no.
But where is the production for Viper? He's been buying all these resources, he's been selling, and it looks like he's gonna tap out.
Wow.
There was just no production, and he didn't keep his TCs running. I think he used the Saracen market a little bit too much there, and Leary really punished him for it.
And Leary said, forget about the gimmicks. Forget about it.
Yep.
I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna play good economically. I'm gonna make military, and we're not gonna rely on any of that funky, crazy stuff that Viper does so well with, his team does so well with. I don't know if you saw it, Dave, but Viper shook his head, looked down immediately afterwards. He is not happy about that.
I think he'll know what he did wrong there. I think he needed maybe to play a little bit more defensively, or maybe just continue with the Knights.
Yep.
Maybe
It
the
looks so
Cap
good.
Archers weren't the play.
The second range went up.
Yep.
And then he needed siege. He did not utilize those archery ranges until much later. I think the second range slowed him down. And as you mentioned, he needed better economy.
And props to Leary for continuing to create crossbows.
It was so good. I thought that he would lose a batch of crossbows and then be behind, but he was always ahead. The Viper back to the drawing board. He will show us another home map of his, and he's got Enclosed and Land Madness. We did speculate on Enclosed because we thought it could be that. I'm sure most people here were sticking with us for that. We got that one wrong, Dave, so let's talk about Land Madness. That way we cover all our bases.
Land Madness, he's used Huns, but he does have Khmer.
Khmer would be tricky there.
Land
I
Madness
like that.
is a scout map, basically.
Yeah.
Unless you're sometimes playing against the Mesociv, and they can get up to Castle Age and make some eagles. But usually what we will see on that map is a snowbally war in Feudal Age with scouts, and then one player gets up to Castle Age earlier, and the other player tries to survive until they can get up as well.
We have seen a bit of funky business, though. I remember Tato and Doubt both going Archer opening on Land Madness.
With Vietnamese, too.
Yeah, it's like a counter to Scout with the Spearman Archer play. So, again, you've always got to think not just about Viper, but what did Tato and Doubt do? What are these other GL players doing? Because they train together, they have confidence in their strategies. And look at that, Leary. Oh, I love his reactions. And Viper, I think did he say the word poor? He was like, that was poor. It sounds like a Viper thing to say.
You got that all in that half-a-second clip?
Yeah, he went.
Maybe we have another interview with Doubt this segment. I'm waiting for it.
Did they say something?
No. I'm just
Are you bored with talking to me? Am I that bad?
Well, we've got the behind the scenes, the blooper reel. Oh my, the behind the scenes blooper reel.
I like this.
From this event. Okay, well, enjoy, because I'm sure we won't enjoy this one.
Of course.
He's crushing my leg right now.
And Doubt, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I'm trying to survive here. I didn't give breakfast to Lark. School. We didn't give the breakfast either, it seems. Which one? You're just sticking to the scenario, Jordan.
Entschuldigung. Nein, 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 hier die Karte. Die von der Königin, komm schnell!
Good. And even became a rival to the papacy, which culminated as Holy Roman Emperor Barbara? After that, he rose very quickly through the ranks of German royalty, becoming the king of try again, sorry.
That was pretty funny. Just gotta love how like Riley starts with one person, then two people, and then
Man,
everyone arrives.
Riley's
The
the
whole
ladies'
family.
man. There was
Yeah,
just
right?
1, 2, 3, 4. There's people coming from out of frame. Maybe that was Barbara.
That might have been Barbara. Yeah, I don't know what order the events happened.
Did
there.
you have breakfast out? I'm just trying to survive.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I heard he was terrified of that horse. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad that there weren't too many bloopers of us. It looks like they edited that before our games earlier. We do have a crazy series here, and Leary just got a win on Viper's home map. I think it's huge for Viper to respond and tie this up 2-2 if he wants to win this full best of 7.
Yeah, and we're looking at another home map from him, and it's well, we said it was likely to be enclosed last time.
We did.
So, do you think it's likely to be enclosed this time?
I do.
Okay. And if we're looking at it closed, you said Sicilians. Is there an argument to be made for Teutons? Not really, right?
I don't think so.
Is that a land madness civ?
Sorry. I think Teutons is kind of a matchup where you want to utilize the strength of the armor, right?
Yep.
So like, what's tricky there is it looks like there's always going to be a camel civ for Leary going forward when it comes to land madness and any open land maps. So I believe the Teutons will not be seen. That will probably be the only remaining civilization, but I could be wrong. Mayans could also be great unenclosed, no doubt. I'd love to see the Mayans there, and of course they're training partners, not on horses, but in game, and we will be in game number 4. Crazy final so far, Dave.
Yeah, Viper losing his home map. And like you said, that's usually what determines sets. Who loses their home maps? And Leary will be playing as the Vietnamese. Viper will be playing as the Sicilians. And you were right.
I mean, you know, I've seen it enough times. I think this is going to be a tricky one. In terms of the approach, I believe Viper is going to be more on the defensive side. Sicilians, a civilization which has been so tricky to deal with. Dave, why is that?
Well, I mean, they have a lot of bonuses, right? They take less damage from units like Spearmen or Skirmishers that have the bonus damage. They have the Sergeant available. They build their TCs faster. They build their castles faster. It's just a whole plethora of things coming together for them in this Empire Wars format. And they've really risen in popularity since the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah, and I think that people have only now started to figure them out. And as you see the keyboard cam there, it is all offense for Leary early. Viper getting housed a little bit there. That's definitely going to delay some things for him. But Leary, I say aggressive, as you see this horrible housing situation for Viper, but It was literally just a Spearman and a Scout. That's what Leary likes to do. All the tiny little engagements. Now Viper with a counterattack.
Yeah, Viper coming forward with some Spearmen, with some Skirmishers, and Archer. They're both fighting for that hill position with their Scouts, but I think Viper will lose his. No, he pulls it away at the last second. Let's see if Leary notices. Of course he does.
Just dirty awareness, Dave.
Yep.
And now this is where it gets tricky because the counter units for Leary do less bonus damage against Viper's units. So if the numbers are even, Viper should be taking the better fights.
But Leary is going to have the Archer armor first. So
That's a
Viper
good point.
needs to be careful. The Spearman going down there for Leary. Viper targeting the Archer from Leary.
Kind of misclick there as well, Dave. He now gets the Archer, but he's lost some time and position. And Leary having the full HP Scout. I mean, sorry, not full HP. Let's call it third HP, but look at the difference it makes.
Yeah, and Leary's pushing forward. He's taking that map control, turns around, fires at the Scout. That will go down. The Spearman for Viper will likely go down, and Leary's Scout is still alive in this situation. Viper made a market, and he's gonna, looks like he's gonna buy his way up to the next age.
I know that game number 1, Viper was able to hold on against Leary's micro. It was incredible, but to me, it seems like there is a big gap in their micro, Dave, at least in Feudal Age. Like right there, Viper made some big mistakes overextending.
I think it's less in the micro and more in the decision-making on when to take fights.
Okay, yeah.
Because Leary was taking a fight with 2 more units than Viper was. And Viper was trying to clear up the Archers. Here we see Leary kind of moving back as Viper has more units on the field.
Look at this. He's like, I don't care if I'm near your base. I'm going to continue to go in here. Viper with a nice little micro. I like how the Scout's also going to contribute. Viper's on the way to Castle Age. Leary can't really kill the Viper with just Skirmishers.
Yeah, Leary's going to be up in a minute or two. He's targeting them with the Villagers. Leary ignoring those 2 Villagers, pulling them out of position.
Oh my God, that
and going
Scout.
after the Skirmishers. The Scout is still getting
God.
value.
I think we need to get stats on the Red Bull site about that Scout because that was incredible. He contributed so much in those fights, Dave, and Leary has double the military numbers. Viper's got to be careful here.
Yeah, that's a good pick from Viper. Almost, oh, I thought he was going to take out that Archer, almost taking out the Archer. And the 2 Villagers are really putting in work chasing after these Skirmishers. Leary doesn't want to engage those at all. He's like, yeah, you can walk around with 2 Villagers. I'm idling your economy a little bit. Viper's going to go for a stable as he goes into the next stage, probably in response to all the Skirmishers he sees from Leary. Remember, Vietnamese, more HP on their Skirmishers. So Sicilians take less bonus damage, but Vietnamese take more shots.
Yeah, and I think the shots made all the difference there. That one Archer, if I'm not wrong, is on 1 or 2 HP. Any other Archer and that would have gone down. But, you know, Viper, I think he's still in a good position, utilizing the market as he so often does. He is going to be in Castle Age faster. He can make some knights, get some upgrades, and also the second TC, he can build that a whole lot faster.
This is kind of un-Leary, like walling to the edge like this.
It's like he cares now.
Yeah, he's walling to that terrain. You can't build over that road terrain.
Yeah, he's showing a lot of respect to Viper, let's put it that way. As Viper's going to open with Elite Skirmisher, and Viper doesn't have the upgrades
Probably
quite yet.
Don't engage until you get that. Oh, that was a 6 split. That was really close range. Viper with some good micro there, and he also took out the Skirmisher. That was 1 hit.
No
Leary
way.
with Archers over here. Viper 1 hits that with the Villager, but he's going to lose him. 1 Skirmisher should be enough to defend against that. And Leary deeming that this position right now is vulnerable. He's going for a tower, and he's making a couple Scouts to counter the Skirmishers from Viper. That split was nasty, too.
That split was disgusting. But the thing is, Viper has Elite Skirm, which takes so long to complete. And for Leary, he hasn't even clicked that upgrade yet. He'll be in Castle Age. He will have to click it, but then there's a Knight on the field and advantage Viper.
Viper with Elite Skirm can sit under this tower. Yeah, I mean, he's going to take a few shots, but he's going to clear up all the Skirmishers from Leary. Leary gives up on that fight.
What do you do against this, Dave? You can't even make, well, he's going to go Knights. That would be a good
Knights
decision.
With Vietnamese,
but he is
and he's running with those
position.
Villagers. I wonder if Viper's spidey senses are telling him the Villagers are somewhere. He's checking everywhere for those. Leary ran directly south. Viper is going for a second TC now. He will build it fast with the Sicilians. Look, he can't find them.
I love this for Viper. He gets a lead. He sees the tower. He says, okay, he can't add a town center. He didn't sell all of his stone before, so he can add that second TC, gain an eco lead. The only thing I don't like about it, because I do think this suits Viper.
This is going to be annoying.
But the only thing I don't like about it, and here comes that Knight, is that he's allowing Leary to come forward now. He's not really keeping Leary in his base.
Yeah, one villager going down. That knight does not have any armor, so it will die to the tower pretty fast here. Leary fighting with the villagers because he recognizes it doesn't have armor. The knight will escape on 1 HP. Could still potentially do damage, but it looks like Leary has walled in that wood line at the bottom. Viper has located that, has 2 knights on the prow, coming forward with a couple knights of his own. And this might be a problem for the Viper as he was unable to complete that monastery.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the monastery was so late, but I think that maybe Viper's overconfident now. He's going to have 3 TCs, Dave, so he'll know that they build faster. He'll know Leary probably is on 1.
Yep.
But this does mean that Leary is going to stay on 1. Leary will go for the kill.
Yep. Viper going for a 4th TC. 4th TC with the Sicilians.
What?
He will build that quite quickly. Leary diving into the wood line from Viper. We want to see some quick walls, maybe some houses here to prevent those knights from doing damage. But not in time as Viper is chasing in the north and Leary has that forward base. There's going to be all sorts of pressure coming here from Leary. Viper still hasn't noticed the villagers going down on the wood line. When will he see that? Okay, he loses 3. He's probably going to lose 4, maybe 5, but he does pull them away eventually.
This is the thing. Even though your TC builds faster, it's still a town center. It's 275 wood and 100 stone. And Viper doesn't have the eco to keep 4 TCs running. I'm very surprised to see that. And Leary's going to continue to put his foot on the gas here.
Yeah, only 9 villagers on food for Viper. Maybe more once he ungarrisons that TC. Yeah, 15 villagers on food. He's seeding more farms. He's chasing with skirmishers. Does he know about the forward position? I don't believe so. So it's going to be a big surprise when Leary comes knocking. What do you do here in Viper's position in response to that?
You kick yourself for going 4 TCs first. And then you've got to keep your eye out, Dave. Keep an eye on that mini-map. You have to focus on all these little spots because you now have 4 focus areas, and Leary has mobility.
Oh, he walled that knight in.
Yeah, that was cute. That was cute, and we have chain barding now for Leary. The most important unit for Viper. Oh, what is this? A skirmisher and 1 HP knight counterattack. Only the Viper would do this.
I like this. I like this because he's going to kill villagers, but more importantly, I think he's going to distract Leary a little bit. And Leary needs all of his attention forward
He did this game 1,
Yep.
right? Remember? A few little attacks distracting Leary, and then suddenly as we see a 50C.
The Omega Boom.
Actually, you know what he needs right now for is gold for the monks. And in terms of Vil kills, it will be quite even if those skirmishers continue to do
More
damage.
skirmishers coming around.
Uh-oh.
Here comes the mangonels. Here comes the ram from Leary. So he waited until he has enough. He feels like he can push. The monk going down right away. Viper's not going to get a conversion on those knights to be able to kill the siege. He's making a knight of his own. But Leary will hang out here with these knights and protect his siege. But Viper has 2 monks, and he can hop in the TC anytime he wants.
Leary cannot give Viper conversions. Because if the conversions come in, the knights turn around and they attack that siege. Leary does have his own monks to convert them back. I think an excellent unit would actually be Light Cav for Leary as well. Because Viper's only going for monk defense. And so we'll see if Sicilians could build town centers faster or as fast as they lose them, but I like to see Leary being this aggressive.
It's crazy how much both players are using the market here.
Yeah.
Viper has been using it in all games, and you kind of need to when you have 5 TCs and not enough farms. You do not have the food eco to sustain villager production, but Leary using it as well, and the prices are getting pretty low here. The efficiency is not what he needs.
Oh, look at that scout from Viper. That's so good, Dave.
That's so good if he's able to pick off this monk.
What?
Did he just micro around that? That was some of the filthiest micro I've ever seen. Great attack round from Leary too.
Viper's like, he'll kill his own monk again, and no, wow, that was cute. Great job from Viper. That stable's going to be taken care of, though.
And he's back. He's back with the skirmishers. He killed the remaining 2 villagers on that wood line. Leary has not noticed this yet. Okay, he's going to notice now. Continue pushing in with the siege and dungeon.
Is that good here? I actually don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Well, I remember it against Arbalest, it was not too good. But against a Mangonel, if that's like a guard tower, which I don't think it is, I think it's weaker than a guard tower, then that would be a good thing for Viper to build to keep this pressure away from the town center.
Leary has only taken out 1 TC here. I think this is less damage than he would have hoped, and I don't know if he suspects Viper is still on 4.
Does he suspect that Viper has 20 on stone right now? Because that's going to be important.
Oh,
Viper,
don't get these converted. That would be terrible for you.
Viper's just like booming away, and he's going to try and drop a castle to defend all this eco.
Yep. So we could have a big moment here. Sicilians build a castle so fast, it feels tough to deny
That's
it, and
smart.
Viper will drop a castle there out of range of the Mangonels as Leary decides to go into Viper's farming economy through the middle. Castle is usually a good solution against Monks, Knights, and Siege.
Yep.
The only problem might be if the Knights run around the castle, they could get into that wood line.
Yeah, and this is a really good spot for Viper because Leary didn't know about it until a minute after he decided to go for that town center.
Yep.
Also, the castle takes out some siege.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
this is, the clock has been ticking for Leary for a while now, and Viper now has 30 more villagers. It was very
87.
greedy, Dave, but every time he adds these TCs, I'm like, don't go TCs, you shouldn't do that. And guess what, he does it, and it works well.
4 monks, Tristan. If he gets 4 conversions here, he can target the monks, then you move on to the Mangonels.
Oh my God, well Leary has 3 though, Dave. So Leary can convert 3 of them back.
Instant.
Very fast conversions. Leary just has to be careful with his monks to get these back, and Viper has to keep that TC up. There's 3 Mangonels. There's no military for the Viper. Is the greed going to be punished here, or will it work out?
Viper has another donjon up there, and he
the
does.
monks for Leary.
He does have Bodkin too, which is giving him extra damage against the Knights. I think Viper is going to hold against this push. The TC will go down there, but he has a couple Knights that he's converted. It looks like he's attacking with a Sergeant on the Mangonels. Leary is converting that Sergeant. This is absolute chaos here on Viper's home map.
You can fit 10 villagers inside of this dungeon, and that's huge, because you can hop them in and out with the repairs. And what also was huge, Leary losing the monks. He dove in too far.
These attack rounds
my
have been nuts.
God.
Absolutely nuts, excluding the one where he killed his own monk.
Yeah, that's true. But he was just getting warmed up, Dave.
Crazy. I wonder if a converted Sergeant can build a dungeon. That would be hilarious.
Dave asking the real questions here. I highly doubt it, but we got 3 TCs behind this for Leary. Dave, let's talk about this a little bit, because I feel like it kind of depends on your outlook, and it depends what the players do from here. Yes, Viper has a lot of villagers. Yes, Viper has a castle.
He's going into production
But
now.
Viper needs this area. If this game goes on for a while,
Yep.
he needs this area. So he's adding stables now. I like that for the Viper. Leary's in, though.
Only 1 monk. And there's a lot of eco that can't be ranged by the TCs. It is being ranged by the donjons, though. And like I said before, Bodkin was in for Viper.
Yeah.
So it's going to be doing extra damage there. That Sergeant just working on killing that archery range. Viper building stables behind to hopefully produce. He's getting further and further away from his castle, though, from that farming eco in the middle. He's going to have to make some military and have a pushback at some point.
Yeah, it's like you have all that eco, but what can you do with it, right?
Yeah, and
He's
repair this
stuck.
Mangonel too.
He also, look at his wood count. He's got 42 on wood because he can't get the villagers from the central TC, nice repair Viper, to other areas. So I guess that should be his farming area.
Uh-oh, there's a hole. There's a hole here.
Oh no. Oh no, Leary didn't look. Leary just thinks, there's no way there's a hole there, it's Viper.
Leary did the same thing against MBL. When MBL went for a boomy approach on this map, Leary created a forward base, and it's just constant pressure. Look at how much he has over on the left-hand side. He's adding a 3rd TC behind. He's raiding with the Knights constantly. He's in to the wood line there. I don't know how much damage he can do, though, because Viper house-walled that before, so Leary's going to clear up a little bit.
Where's the military for Viper? He's putting himself in a position to have to react constantly.
Yep.
This is not what Leary does, Dave. He constantly pressures, and Viper with the quick gate, whoop, whoop, okay. Anyways, the Vill count is not quite as bad as it was before, and I think the efficiency as Leary goes to the 4 TC has been really good for Leary.
Yeah, it's going to stabilize here at about 30 villagers.
That's a
And
lot
if
of
I was
vills, though.
Viper, I don't think I would go to the left. I think I would go to Leary's base with these Knights.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, go to Leary's base and 30 villagers. I know that it seems a little unconvincing right now.
Another
As Viper
TC?
adds another TC.
Okay, I will.
Anyways, as Nilly Dave allows it, I think that 30 Vill lead is what you wanted if you're Viper. You just now have to put that in the military.
Yeah, and where not much exposed eco for Leary. He's done a really good job making the TCs in strategic locations for those night raids, has that whole forward base over there, taking Viper's gold, or kind of Viper's gold over there with 2 villagers. The Knights, I think, will have to hope for a hole somewhere in the main base, and there was a hole there, I just saw it, into the farming eco from Leary. If the Knights can get in there on the wood line, it can be devastating.
I think there's a hole on either side there. I think Viper's probably going to loop down to the south further, but we'll keep an eye on that. And Dave, I think the reason Viper is able to hit this area is because Leary stopped pressuring. Leary was
Well-
too scared of the Donjon TC defense.
Well, I mean, was he though? Because he lost like 20 knights to it.
That's true.
He was going in there.
Look at
And-
the timing on this. Viper now coming out over here. It's like he knows
Yep.
Leary's left.
Yeah, Leary's left to go defend at home. Both players are just sensing exactly what the other one is going to do. That's what makes them the best. And that's what makes this set amazing. As Leary recognizes he's at risk at home, he will drop a couple houses and a palisade wall. He'll be safe, but he is being raided by one knight at the bottom. And Viper going now for a castle in a safe location. That is a very Viper castle over on that side.
It's been greedy. It's been iffy at times, but I look at this game now, and Viper has everything that he would want. He's got incredible economy. He's going to be in the Imperial Age
He's going to go for First Crusade.
And as I see the infantry upgrade, Dave, I think you're right. Viper can even take the other side
And look,
back.
knights coming out of the darkness there. That's what you have to watch out for on maps like this where you have 4 or 5 TCs, all these exposed resource locations. It's the one knight here or there that you don't notice. It's so hard to see on the minimap, and Leary's going to lose a couple villagers. And Leary's going to lose the villagers forward too as Viper comes forward with more production buildings. I think this is Viper's game to lose from this point.
I can't even see it on their faces right now. Leary looks a little dejected. Viper is just like very serious, and that's terrifying.
Well, when you get Viper in these situations where both players are equal, there's no craziness going on, that's where he's at his best.
Yep. Look at that, Viper realizes my castle will take care of that, so I'm just gonna let you run that way, and I'm gonna head back to your base. I like the light cav addition from Viper, but we are seeing more infantry upgrades. 60 farms with Sicilians.
Yep.
I think you're correct. I think the Viper with all these TCs is going to get First Crusade.
First Crusade. He's going to have all these TCs, and I think if he sends it to the south, he can do some serious damage in the eco while he's pushing Leary simultaneously on the other side, maybe with some trebs. He's placing a castle there. It will build really quickly with the Sicilians. Leary just doesn't see that with his line of sight, and Viper is building light cav on the left side. I think if he sends his sergeants on the right side, he can hit him at the same time from both directions.
He will get 7 free sergeants that instantly produce out of a maximum of 5
Oh, those
TCs.
elephants are stuck.
Elephants are stuck. They're pretty fat, though, so it's understandable. They need to go on a diet. And watch the score at the bottom right. From 7,800 to 8,800. You know, Viper, for years and years and years, has been playing with certain civilizations and then basically causing them to be nerfed in the next patch.
Yep.
I think he's doing that right here.
Yeah, Leary trying to bring that relic home. Viper will likely spot that. Leary also making a switch into Rat and Archer. He's almost in Imperial Age right now. Viper getting the elite sergeant, and it looks like he's going to bring them to the left-hand side. Probably needs a trebuchet. Yeah, he's got one on the field, one more coming out of that castle. Will push this position, and the sergeants, I think with all the infantry upgrades, with the elite upgrade, they'll do fairly well against the Ratans.
How do you stop this strat? How do you stop it?
You kill him early.
He could just boom like a madman. I feel like Viper could not have been stopped playing it like this. This is insane. The elite sergeants are on the way. Elephants could be a great choice, though, Dave.
Elephants could be. And I think if you're in the Viper's position, you do not engage directly with these elephants, with this
He's
sergeants.
building a donjon with the forward sergeants.
That's what I like to see. And then there's more reinforcements right there coming out of that donjon. You can, of course, create sergeants from those buildings, in addition to basically having a tower in your opponent's wood line.
This is a distraction army. Look at the trebs. We've got multiple trebs from Viper. This is something he lacked in that one game against Jordan.
And
Dave
so
and I
many
were talking
villagers
about
repairing,
it.
But you're never going to save that castle.
You have so much to react to if you're Leary. You just cannot do it all. The Viper gets the victory. It is 2-2.
That's what you like to see from him. That is the Viper preparing a strategy, and it pays off. So many times in these Wololo events, we've seen him come in with a prepared strategy, and we're like, underwhelmed. That one seems very, very strong.
And again, like borderline too strong. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he did such a good job because he lost like 2 or 3 TCs. He did such a good job keeping that Vil count up. He lost many villagers, and he ended up being okay there, Dave, as Sicilians proving to be strong yet again.
Yep.
Now we're going to go back to Leary's home territory.
Now we go back to Leary's home map. The first, is it the first of Leary's home maps? No, we played Atacama, that's right. You know what? We're 4 games in, I'm already forgetting games. I'm
okay.
sorry, I'm old now. Winged or Acclivity? Does he want to go back to the craziness that he found success on Atacama, that same style, or does he want to go to Acclivity, which is more like the opening Runestones map?
You know what? is going to be interesting about this map pick. He lost runestones, remember?
Yep.
So Leary might not be as comfortable going with that archer play. If he picks acclivity, that tells me he's still confident and he's like, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yep.
If he goes for winged, I think that the runestones loss is still in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
So for me, if I was in Leary's position, I lack confidence compared to Leary.
He was against Vikings, though.
True.
And that kind of
wings.
plays a role, because every time you're against Vikings, you're like, nah.
What do I do?
At best, it's 50-50 for me to win.
Yeah, I think like either way, Leary's going to be in a good position based on what he did in Atacama. Winged is very similar to that, but I would actually go winged here. I believe Leary will probably not care too much.
Yeah, you need to take the momentum back, I think.
And you got to win the map regardless if it goes to 7 games.
Yep.
So it's not like you're avoiding it.
Well, we've got Riley and Britt over with Slam and Jordan at our town center, so we're going to hand it off to them.
Thanks very much. Yes, I'm joined here by 2 of our players and, of course, Britt as well. We've got Jordan, we've got Slam, and a chance for redemption, boys. You're knocked out of the tournament, but glory lies ahead of you here if you can pass this most perilous of challenges. Some of the players, some of the casters have drawn their favourite AoE units. You have to guess what the drawings depict, and you also have to guess who drew them. Let's go. Let's begin the first one. Here it is. Let's have a look.
Right.
That's Leary.
All right, Leary is the artist, or is that the unit? Do you think it's Leary the unit?
Leary the unit.
Both. No.
Both. No. What's the unit? Do you think, Jordan?
That's a Tarkin.
All right. Okay. And Slam.
Let's go with Dave drew this, and it is a donkey
From the Spain.
A donkey from the Spain. Let's have a look.
From
Missionary.
A donkey
from the Spain. It is
It's actually
Dave, but
Dave.
it is a Tarkin, of course. Dave's favourite unit. We know it's a Tarkin. Chucking
Right.
those torches around. All right, let's try again. So 1-1 here for you two. Not too bad. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness! Wow, look at this one. Holy moly! Got a real artiste on the team here.
Wow.
Who's this one? What's this?
That's a castle.
Yeah, but the unit, mate. The castle's... Jeez, Jordan, you've got to go back to fundamentals. That's a building, not a unit. What's she doing? Taking a picture?
Okay, Slam, you go first.
I can't say a castle now. Let's go with a crypt post.
No, the... All right, never... They're supposed to be guessing the unit. What's the unit?
selfie.
I think she's taking a selfie. Let's find out who the artist is. It looks like a villager taking that picture. And it's by Villager. Villager by Villager, the new fragrance
Villager
available
by-
now from stores near you. Let's have a look at the next one here. These boys completely off the chain there.
Alright.
Okay, here we go. Have a look at this one. Jordan, what do you reckon?
And that's Sergeant, which
Tell you what, if he said another building, I was going to lose it.
which is drawn by T90.
All right, T90, the drawer, the artist, Sergeant, the unit.
Let's
Slam.
go with Mem, and let's go with a berserker.
All right, let's find out the name of the artist. It was Valese, and it was, in fact, a berserker.
Wow.
It was a berserker. There you go.
All right.
All right, one more. Let's have a look at this one.
Oh.
All right, we'll start with Slam, though.
That's easy.
Elite skirmisher.
An elite skirmisher, not just the Commonwealth garden variety here. Jordan taking a good look.
Skirmish. That's Haskell.
Haskell?
100%.
Okay.
And that one was drawn by... What else do we have? Mem.
All right. The artist?
Barrels.
All right. We reckon
Neither.
it is by Vinci. Oh, Vinci. Right, that's his DJ name, excuse me. And Vince drawing, I've got it here, Haskell.
Yeah.
Well done. Jordan's a true champion. Heart of a champion. He's got the spirit of a fighter. Back to you at the desk, boys.
Well, that was incredible. Dave, your drawing was pretty good.
Are you Vinci? Because you look like Da Vinci right now.
I do. Unfortunately, my drawings did not really live up to my costume.
Your Cav Archer was awful.
Okay, I didn't know how much time we had, and it was a manga die, not a Cav Archer. It's very hard to distinguish it through. That's why I had the little like flary feather like this. See?
Yeah.
Manga die.
Yeah, mine was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
How long did that take you?
20 seconds.
Same.
20 seconds.
Oh,
and
20
if
seconds.
you are absolutely, if you're getting secondhand embarrassment right now, I encourage you to go to the Stats website. You can use Stats in chat, which is just a waste of your time because there's way too many people here. Thank you, by the way. And then you could also go to,
You could scan the
website, but
QR
just scan the
code.
thing. Yeah, just scan it.
Yeah, scan it.
And Leary's gonna push that right now. Leary, push it off the screen. Oh my! Yeah, look at that.
He tried to hit it up though.
Yeah, it's true. Wrong way, but we'll
Yeah.
get better. It will get better. I wonder if these finals will get better, Dave. Score is 2-2, and that was exactly what Viper needed. I think if he lost there, there's no way.
There's no way he comes back.
He comes back.
No, but we have, dude, we have a dream set right now. I hope that Viper wins on Leary's home map, so us back to Viper's home map, and then Leary wins, and then Viper has to win again on Leary's home map. We just want one win for a player and then another win for the other guy, and we want to get to the 7 games. That's what we were all anticipating going into this. Viper's shown up to play.
He did, and he's had unique strategies, right? But not too unique. He's had strategies that fit the meta, fit his play style. Sicilians, you and I looked at each other and used the word busted for that. That seems insane, and he, of course, used that to perfection. It is interesting to note, though, Leary has Tatars on a map with hills, a map that is amazing for archers.
Yeah.
I think Tatars would be in his wheelhouse. Also Berbers, as if we had talked about maybe for Lands Madness later. And then Bulgarians on winged. I mean, I'm looking at the top 3 civs for Leary. They look really good. Viper will probably have something like Mayans on Acclivity, Kumans on winged or Lands Madness, and then you've got Kimura and Teutons behind it, man. It doesn't really seem like any of them are lacking any civilizations for these maps.
No, really good drafts for both players.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff. And you'll get that because you only have 1 snipe.
Yeah.
As opposed to our group stages where we saw a ridiculous amount of bans, which resulted in some crazy civ matchups, but you don't want to see that in the finals.
Yeah.
You want to see the best civs against the best civs, the best plays against the best plays, and of course the 2 best players in the world, which are probably sitting across from each other right now in our war room as we attempt to get into game number 5. It looks like both players are getting ready. You can see that computer being ready right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful setups actually here.
We have made a lot of just the situation that the players are playing in, Dave, and it really, it took some adapting, I think, for both of them, and they brought it tonight. Like it's clear to me that they have been here a week and recognize the stakes. They are playing so good.
Everyone's gotten better as the week goes on.
Yeah.
Like the level of gameplay as people get used to the LAN environment, they get used to the setting and the cameras and lights being on them.
Yep.
And the ping being very, very nice indeed.
I think if this game goes to the Viper, we had that exact situation you said.
Look at that guy, looks
even.
shocked that the games have been so good.
Yeah, I don't know what he looks like right now, but it's a beautiful statue here in Heidelberg Castle. Of course, there's statues surrounding us. It's not like they brought these statues in for us.
We're literally in a castle museum at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Every once in a while, I just stare at a statue for a little bit too long, and then I get freaked out and have to walk out of the room.
Like the nude ones over here? Or?
Yeah, I have not stared at that, Dave. That's not cool. Okay. All right, my mom would not be happy to hear that.
Okay.
But you know, the fully clothed, very historical statues, of course. And here we go, game number 5, and
winged.
We are in on winged. It is Bulgarians versus Kumans. The aggression begins.
Yeah, and Bulgarians getting the cheaper blacksmith upgrades, but Kumans able to put 2 production buildings down right away, and we saw Viper with 2 archery ranges and a stable going up behind it. They're so good on these early openings.
And again, like, that feels super busted as well.
Yeah.
Let's see if Viper can make the most of it here as Leary's on the prowl.
Yeah, and Viper walling the rest of his base. We've seen, I think usually this strategy is reserved for the top players. From what I've seen, like Hera does this, Viper does this. I think we might have seen Tato do something like this where they're walling to the edge of the map. They have that knowledge that they need to get their wood lines secure, and then they can dictate the pace of play.
Check this out from Leary, Dave. He's going to try and go for skirmishers to counter this. Viper already has scouts out. He already has scouts out to counter the skirms. So just because your production buildings are 100 wood cheaper, you're able to do what Viper's doing right now. And if he keeps them all producing, Leary's going to have some big problems.
He's looping those archers a long way away.
Leary would never expect that, Dave.
No, he's looping them so far around. Leary's going out with a spearman to explore, maybe suspects something happening, sending the scouts to the north, but I don't think he's going to find him in time. Viper was too quick.
He's waiting for the archers to arrive here, but the only problem for Viper is that he doesn't have anything to snipe the spearmen there.
Oh, he found them.
Leary will find that, and Leary's also going for the Dockville. I don't know if he knows it's there.
Leary's just missing everything a little bit. He's a little bit too late searching for Viper's army. He does have a spearman there. We'll get one poke.
Oh man, but this attack for Viper's huge, Dave. It's going to be more than one.
And he's in on the wood line at the same time, or the gold, sorry, at the same time. That villager will go down. Leary sending 2 skirms in response there, but 2 villagers down on the berries, and Leary only able to kill a couple archers at Viper's base. Viper will attack against these skirmishers from Leary. Leary does have the +1 armor, so he can't engage that yet, and Viper is heading home with his scouts.
You know, the downside there for Viper, he lost some army, right? He was able to hit the eco. He's now lost some army, so Leary's turn to really turn this around. Nice little house there from Viper, doesn't get any damage in. Leary with 1 military lead, Dave, but I don't think it's enough for him to really feel comfortable fighting, and if Viper gets a dock up, I'll be really liking his position.
Yeah, he doesn't have the wood yet, though. He needed the wood for production, was still producing spearmen,
he doesn't have the wood
still
upgrade.
producing archers, doesn't have that wood upgrade. He's going to go to the shorefish, so probably dropping a dock pretty soon, and he's going to meet up with his archers with those 3 scouts that he saved earlier.
Leary's army just seems so meh at the moment. A spearman and 2 archers and some skirms.
Don't lose that archer,
not
Viper.
an army you're really worried about if you're a villager, but he did just kill an archer there, and Viper might need to react there.
And that's perfect positioning for those scouts. Viper going in on the gold. Leary attempting to house wall there, but 1 villager will go down. The other scout will go to kill these skirmishers. Archers coming in for Viper. There's a weak villager there as these archers make their way towards that gold.
This is insane,
But Leary
Micro.
will be able to defend for the time being, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think Viper will be able to as well, Dave. This is an insane game. Viper's going to be able to push this back. Insane defense. Actually, Viper needs to back away.
He needs to save those archers.
Yeah.
And he needs to bring these scouts into play. Only 1 stable for him. Looks like he's dropping a 2nd stable, which I think he needs at the moment.
Did his Vil on the shoreline get pulled back?
Yeah. It was taking the shorefish, and then it came back to the TC, dropped off the food. I think that might have been better because I don't know if he had the wood at the time.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he needed production.
A little bit of wasted time for Viper, but man, we have ourselves a good one here.
Yep.
And somehow Viper, he's killed 4 villagers here. He's actually
Is that a
1
3rd
ahead.
stable?
Or 5 ahead, excuse me, 1 more than he should be. And yeah, Viper's like, you know what? I've got enough stables. Let's not build that.
Let's use that wood to make farms. The best shows we've seen on this map have been from players like Hera that can make a bazillion farms and keep producing scouts. Speaking of scouts, Leary has 5 of his own looping around the top of Viper's base. He does have the attack and the armor upgrade. He doesn't have bloodlines yet. Viper just got bloodlines, and Leary might be able to find some exposed villagers here. Where is the military from Viper?
He wasn't running forward, Dave. He was just expecting the pressure on the front, and Leary said, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not stupid. And 2 kills, and Leary's going to be out of here. Big hit and run for Leary.
Yep.
And Dave, this will lead to some momentum for him. Remember that Atacama game?
No bloodlines, though, for Leary yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising to see.
They don't get cheaper stable upgrades. Only blacksmith upgrades.
Unfortunately. I think Viper will still end up being okay, and I think Leary assumes he has bloodlines right now. I'm very surprised to see that he has not clicked that upgrade.
Another forest coming across the map, and this is why it's so important to wall to the edge if you're in Viper's position, because now you only have to worry about that front side or Leary looping around like we saw before. And Leary goes right into the range units. Viper picks off another scout. Leary is going to bounce off those walls, hit that tower on the gold, and by the time he does that, Viper will have this army in the right position. So great play from the Norwegian, but the miner is opening the gate.
I actually think the palisade walls are vulnerable here, right? The tower would push you away a little bit, but what's to stop Viper or to stop Leary from breaking in those palisade walls?
Well, it'll give Viper time at least to come
true.
back.
Bloodline's on the way, Dave.
I mean,
and the Archer's going forward.
Archer's going forward with the scouts, and I think Leary needs to bring maybe his force back to respond to this. Leary's going to take time to come into Viper's base, and the houses are going up behind. Leary will bounce off that tower. Viper needs to make sure the miner doesn't open the gate again.
Infantry armor from Leary, and he is coming back. Viper's tower and palisade walls will hold. I guess he's like, it's the only upgrade I'm missing. Might as well. I have some spearmen. It's really cheap with this div, but Viper fishing behind this, Dave.
Only 1 fishing ship, though.
Might be more.
And the villager collecting shorefish, which adds up as well.
Viper in full control, Dave. Military count, even though it comes down to what the military is comprised of, there's a lot of scouts for Leary.
Yeah, wheelbarrow coming in now from Leary. Leary is waiting to pounce. This is very similar to that Atacama game. If Viper sits in this little area, though, I don't think Leary has the range to pick off his units. It'd be difficult.
I think that's perfect for him because all he wants to do now is go up to Castle Age. He's forcing reactions from Leary, and he's walled at home. So as long as he buys another minute or two, Viper will probably have the stronger castle age position, and he's done such a good job keeping his scouts and his archers together.
Viper's going to click up, and look at Leary's resources.
It's also extremely difficult compared to most winged games to be able to get counters in with how Viper has set up his base.
If you're Viper here, save this army. If Leary pounces, get into these little wood lines.
Yeah,
so
because Leary doesn't have ranged units, Dave.
Yeah, he only has 2 skirmishers, and the best thing for Viper here is that there's nothing coming back across to his base, but I say that, and Leary says, nah. Enough of that. If you're not going to pressure me, I am going to go to your eco. You're not going to have anything at home. This is a big risk for Viper. I think he needs to go back into Leary's economy and force a fight.
Yeah, I agree with that call, Dave, and you see it right now, Viper coming in and Leary being punished, but at the same time, Viper will be punished. The difference is Viper will be in Castle Age in less than 90 seconds, and Viper already has the economy lead, and here it comes. Leary's splitting his groups, and Viper needs to run away.
Yeah, Viper's got some scouts in defense, but a bunch of exposed villagers on the wood line in the back. Viper will be in Castle Age soon, like you said. He'll be able to produce knights.
Knights will be very strong here, but he needs the resources for it. There's villagers that are not working in Viper's base, but there's also villagers that are not working in Leary's base as he somehow tries to engage against that. This is craziness.
Yeah, craziness. Viper, it's so hard to quick wall those wood lines.
Also very hard for Viper to push that tower now. His army's kind of weak as well. And Dave, Leary killing more villagers here. Is it going to be enough, though?
I don't know. There's spearmen now getting some decent shots on the scouts. Viper can't really go out to wood. He's trying to quick wall the villager and fails. Viper taking an engagement only with his scouts now. The range units are still waiting for upgrades here. It's so tough for Viper to get to wood at the moment. He's got 3 on wood, only 38 in the bank. He's forced to the wood line at the front, and Leary is on the prowl at the back.
He's also not mining gold consistently, so he can't use the market. Those villagers were in and out of the tower. And more villagers will die. Leary has a chance here, Dave.
Leary has a chance. He just needs to keep doing damage because at some point, this is going to swing. I don't think he's done enough.
Yeah.
He's not close to clicking up to the Castle Age.
Look at this. Viper has not upgraded that army yet. Viper's going for the light cav upgrade, which is a big surprise to me.
I don't think he could afford anything, to be honest. He queued 4 knights, and then his economy was completely 0.
Leary was so close to killing so many vills. If we get a moment, what I'd like to see is the HP on Viper's villagers. He could have easily lost 10 more, and Leary might live to regret that. Remember what happened with MBL and Hera and their set as we see more villagers going down. That's just 1, though, and yeah, I mean, the eco KD is pretty good considering Viper's position.
Yeah, I think if you're Viper, if you ever get wood, I think maybe adding some houses at the front to patch those holes and make Leary go around into your knight army might be a good idea. But Viper, one thing good he has done is save this range army. There was danger of him diving in, attempting to do damage. He didn't. The villager that was fishing is going to come back and die.
Congratulations to her for a job well done. But yeah, Dave, now Spearman defense is impossible for Leary.
And the resources for Leary. He's got 2 scouts in production, only 120 food in the bank, and Viper is sitting on his farms. He needs food to go up to the next stage. It looks at this moment like Viper is going to take Leary's home map.
This is huge, Dave. Leary dominated Viper on Atacama after Viper made that one mistake, but here Viper, as he's microing away, he's got to be feeling good. He has never won a Red Bull Wololo before. This would take him 1 game away if he can close it out, and I just don't see how Leary can react to this.
No, Viper is playing so good at the moment. He took a calculated risk. Leary came into his base with those scouts, did a ton of damage, but it wasn't enough, and look at how weak these units are. These units will not survive, and Viper takes the victory. Leary's home map of Winged. Viper is up 3-2. He just needs 1 more game to take the championship here at Red Bull Wololo 5. He was stoked. He was stoked when he took that.
As stoked as a player could be when you need to have incredible focus, he goes back to his notebook. And I think for Leary, you saw his reaction. I actually really liked it, Dave. He had a little smile, a little smirk. He looked to the skies. He's like, all right, you got me, a little nod. Now we will move on to another one of Leary's maps. And Leary needs to respond here, I think for his sake, but also for everyone here.
Yeah.
Because we
won 7 games.
We won 7 games.
The guy has
a cat jam on his...
Can we get some cat jams, maybe, in the chat? And just everyone that's watching, everyone that's enjoying this, just appreciate the moment and soak this all in. We have
cat
literally
jam?
the 2... you can soak in cat jam, too.
Okay.
You can cat jam at home. But soak it in. We are 3-2. Viper has just won Leary's home map. We are going to Acclivity, which is the final selection for Leary. Game number 6. The kid needs a win here to pull it to game number 7 and Viper's home map in Land Madness.
This is going to be amazing, Dave. This is going to be amazing. If Leary can respond here. The final game being on Land Madness, what a treat. Leary, though, what went wrong in that game? Let's just break it down a little bit before we move on to the next one.
He didn't do enough damage. He didn't do enough damage, and that was Viper having that army at the back.
That was huge.
Yeah, and he was pulling them there, he was pulling them there, he's waiting for the resources to click up. Leary realized what he was doing. He sent the scouts forward, but it was too late at that point.
Yeah, I also love how Viper utilized the savings from the Kumans.
Yep.
Not much more Leary can do there. You can't compete with the amount of production buildings Viper will get, and then he snowballed that savings into getting a dock up.
I like how he was going to go for 3 stables and deleted it and went for farms because he realized his position. He realized he had the opportunity to go to Castle Age instead of staying all in feudal versus Leary, and he took it.
I'm thrilled. I'm happy. This is as competitive as it would be.
Yep.
You always want the final to be the best set in a tourney, and regardless of the result, we have had that here.
We're
Dave.
getting it. I'm stoked, man. As an Age of Empires fan, I'm like tingling right now. My hair is on my arm is like standing.
I'm not shaking quite like I was with that NBL Hera set, but like mentally, I am more intrigued than ever.
Yeah.
This is cool.
And we'll see what Leary has to pull out on Acclivity, his final home map. He has Tatars, which is a civ we usually see Viper playing on Acclivity.
It has to be Tatars, Dave.
It has to be?
Berbers and Indians just do not
But does he play Cav Archers or does he play crossbows?
Crossbows. If he makes a Cav Archer, I'll eat my shoe on stream.
Yeah, he doesn't like
Actually,
the
no, I
delay in
won't.
the firing rate.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
I won't do
Crossbows
that.
are like instant, and Leary wants all the micro potential. Even though Cav Archers are more mobile? What, I don't even know what I was trying to say. Mobile, whatever. They can run around, they don't fire as fast, so Leary doesn't like it.
All right, we are going to have an interview at this very moment before game number 6 starts.
That's right. We are back here with Debbie. We are in the thick of it. Did not think it was going to get this far. Even you said yourself. What do you think is going through Viper's head right now?
I think he's pretty maced himself. I mean, he just got Leary's home map, as far as I know, and like my heart is racing because it's so intense. I mean, you have like 2 of the best players right now, and my heart is set on Viper, of course, but like I think Leary's gonna take it still. Like I can't really imagine Viper actually beating him. He's a beast.
Do you think it's going to go to game 7?
I hope so, but I obviously cannot tell. Like Leary is such a good player.
Right, that would be quite an exciting night. And I mean, to be honest, you have to win an award yourself. You've been such a great supporter. Best Girlfriend Award. IW, Lady Debbie. All right, back to you guys.
I hope so too. I hope it goes to game 7.
I do as well. However,
I do too.
I was surprised by a few of those things said.
I know
she has a lot of respect for Leary.
She has a lot of respect for Leary.
Yeah.
I think after what we've seen there, Viper could take this game. Viper could take it in 6, which I never would have predicted.
And, you know, I think he's shown he's capable of it on this upcoming map. He won Archer War before.
Yeah.
He won a Scout War before. And they were probably going to see Archers here. Let's talk Viper. He's got the Mayans. Can you switch away from Archers on Acclivity? Do you think Viper could go Khmer Teutons? Or is Khmer Teutons kind of your 2 available picks remaining if you go to game 7?
I think it feels like an Archer map.
To me,
it really does.
When
you
Leary
get the
plays
hills and
anyways.
everything, and then maybe at some point in Castle Age you can transition, or maybe you open scouts just to prevent the walls, and then some point later Castle you can transition into some knights or something like that. But I think it really feels like a map where if you get a ball of archers, you will find great success.
Viper has come so far since Red Bull Wololo 4.
Yes, yes.
Like he's here, obviously. He's up against Leary. He's beating Leary, and it feels very weird to say Viper's come so far as a player. But truthfully, in these settings, he has. And, you know, he even said after some of his losses in some of the previous Red Bull Wololos, I feel like I'm playing really good Age of Empires. Just things did not pan out for me.
Yep.
What better time for them to pan out for him than in this castle right now?
I remember talking to him after his first set against Leary, and he wasn't down at all. He lost that one 2-1, and he said the first map was just a mistake on my part. I played really well in the second one, and the third one, I feel like I outplayed him. I just made one little mistake in not adding a second barracks.
We've seen little mistakes punished and lead to victories in the entire set so far. And we're gonna just once again remind you we have some wonderful stats on the Red Bull. Yeah,
This
on
one?
the web.
This
Yeah,
one right here?
Yep, that.
Scan
right
it with
there.
your phone or type exclamation mark stats in the chat. That's exclamation mark stats in the chat. And now we're just gonna get rid of it. Push. Thank you.
Did you need, dude? Like, we're kind of smelly, man. Did you have to like get the armpit in my face like that?
Did you have to put that feather in my face 15 times this
Okay,
morning?
That's fair.
Thank you.
15? It's more like 10, please. Anyways, acclivity to Tars. I think it's got to be a YOLO play from Leary again. I think Viper will have to combat
Do you
that.
go YOLO though? On like, do you trust how do you trust yourself that much to go YOLO on a game 6 where you need to win?
Because he's got the best micro in the game.
Okay.
He is the brightest young star in the game.
Good
That's
answer.
how. Yeah, he's
Good
won.
answer.
He's won 2 out of 4 Red Bull Wololos. That's how. Now here's the difference. Assuming I'm right on the civs, it looks like we'll be in game number 6. Mayans can justify 3 archery ranges a whole lot more than Tatars can. So I think Viper will have the added production in the mid game if it gets there, Dave.
Yeah, and we're about to be into game number 6 here. Acclivity, Leary's home map. Look at the focus on his face. He really wants this when you can see his eyes shifting everywhere. This guy is so fast. And we see Viper playing as the Mayans. Leary immediately scouting him. He is playing as the Tatars like we expected.
Map position is really, really crucial on this map. And to be completely honest, at times the maps can be really unfair. Look at the gold for Leary. With the way his buildings are set up, that's going to be very difficult for him to lock down. Viper's going to love his gold position on the back there, Dave.
Yep.
So considering this is going to be Archer War, I see the walls going up for Viper, and I see Viper being very happy moving forward.
That gold is kind of close to that rocky terrain, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Which Leary can make his way around. You can't build on that rocky terrain. Viper opening with an archery range. He's trying to get the walls down. He wants to get to Castle Age in a safe position. We'll probably send those archers forward. Not so much in anticipation of doing damage, but just preventing Leary from doing damage to his own economy.
In terms of the stages of the game, I think that Tatars are all about early Castle Age. Mayans are about every other age. We'll see what Viper can do with his numbers, still 1 range. I love how he's out there on the deer, Dave. I don't think that hole will be an issue.
Yeah, Mapu pointing that out, our excellent observer.
Excellent observer.
I'm sure his advertisement will pop up soon.
It better.
1 HP, so that wall hasn't even been started yet. But like you said, I don't think it's really going to make a difference. Viper going to be super careful with this army. Won't take any reckless engagements. We'll just use it kind of as walls in front of his walls.
Look at Viper's resources, and remember, he's out there on the deer as well. So if he's able to defend this location, I feel like he's going to love his position move going forward. Leary trying to do damage with lower numbers, but he does have more numbers on the field, Dave. It's just not
Leary
on our
adding
screens right now.
Spearman.
I don't know why. I'm thinking that he might want Spearman in case Viper converts one of his knights later.
Yep, maybe. Maybe that could be it.
Honestly, it could be to take out some deer, maybe scab along the backside. There's lots of avenues for attack there, and Leary is all over Viper in terms of the pressure anyways. And Viper has a lot of weak archers in there.
Yeah, Viper's got weak archers, but he has kept them alive. He's attempting to go for a house here, and he will get that down.
Man.
He needs to recognize that the wall at the back there is not quite complete.
This micro, and there's the excellent observer, this micro is truly nuts. The fact that Viper, who's going to YOLO with that market there, try and click up, the fact he hasn't lost any bills yet or any archers yet's insane, but also Leary the same, because defenders typically have an advantage.
Yeah, Viper's been pushed off food, though, and he needs that food income to go into Castle Age, and Leary is being so aggressive here, Tristan. 1 tile gap, we said that wouldn't come into play. It has come into play as Leary goes deep into Viper's base, kicking him off those berries. Viper doesn't have the food income. He's forced to get the first armor upgrade, and he finally clicks up to Castle Age a little bit later than I think he would have liked.
Yeah, a little bit later than I think he would have liked, Dave. To me, I think it's weird that Leary got the armor upgrade. If he wouldn't have got the armor upgrade, he would have clicked up already. And difference in approach here. Viper, he wants to utilize the market to click up faster because he wants to wall and stay safe. Leary said, forget about the walls till later on.
Viper adding more walls.
The big thing I'm looking at, Dave, is just that gold for Leary.
Yeah.
That is so tough for him.
But look at how he's walled it.
That's good.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart from Leary to wall like 6 tiles away. Viper can't range it with his archers. Meanwhile, Viper's gold at the back Leary can range that if he ever gets over to that location. Maybe Viper's planning on dropping a TC there, or potentially a tower if he sees where Leary's archers are. Leary's archers are on the prow, looping around, and they're gonna miss each other.
I wonder if Leary attacks here, because normally you don't want to hesitate. Let's see what
I think
Viper
Viper
does.
makes a tower here.
Like a market or some houses or something,
Okay,
right?
two houses. But that just kicks, once Leary sees this, it kicks him around towards
Yeah, he'll
the
move.
gold.
He'll move.
Do you-
But what's good is Viper can continue to go forward. Look
But-
at the right
yeah,
side.
Yeah, but look,
Oh God, he's not walled there yet?
not yet.
This is awkward. This is awkward.
But the gold can be ranged. He's sending some archers over.
He should
Will
be
he
fine.
be? I guess he pulls them off for a second, gets crossbow, gets bodkin, then outranges these archers from Leary. At the same time, he's got archers in the back. I thought there was a hole
know.
there. I almost had a heart attack for Leary.
Oh, and Viper was off of gold and he lost his archers, Dave. He should never have lost those archers. Leary, though, forced into a tower in a position that is definitely not ideal for him.
And Viper wondering what to do here. Now that he's lost those archers, Leary can take this fight even against crossbows. Viper will have 5 of them, but what happens if Leary just dives? Viper looping the villagers around, maybe a house or something here. You just need to buy yourself more time until the upgrades are in. Leary can also go hit the wood line. He gets instant thumb ring with the Tatars. The Civ is so strong early Castle Age.
Viper sitting back the entire game,
And Viper's
never
in.
scouted the gold. There's a tower there, though, Dave.
There's a tower. Oh no. This is disaster for Viper. He's losing his army at home and he's losing his army in Leary's base. Leary is microing against
GG.
crossbows with
It's GG.
archers and it's GG. Leary taking it. We're going to a game number 7 here at Red Bull Wololo 5.
Wow. Wow, what a response from Leary. And again, just the outlook on how to play the game. Leary, he's like, woof, got away with one there. But Leary's gold was more exposed. Viper didn't know where it was. Viper never scouted it, Dave, the entire game. He stayed at home, didn't find the proper position, and then Viper left himself exposed in what I said was probably the better gold position.
Oh my God, it's so stressful. So stressful, this set. Like just a couple things. If he didn't lose those 3 archers at home, he probably wouldn't feel pressure to go into Leary's base with his
not as
forward
much.
force.
Yep.
He'd be able to defend perfectly. He wouldn't fight uphill against the Tatars. Like, yeah.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Both players have had a lot of those moments, Dave. Score 3-3. Game 7 coming up. We have Lands Madness. We have guesses on what the civs could be. I'd love to see the civilizations again because we should talk through this. This is the biggest moment of probably their careers. Certainly for the Viper, I think that this is probably the most pressure he's felt to win an event in many, many years because, well, I mean, he has not won one of these just yet.
I think this is the biggest amount of pressure that Leary's ever felt. And maybe we can bring in the analyst desk here to see what their thoughts are. Guys, what are you thinking going into game number 7?
I mean, what a show we are getting here. This is incredible. This is what we wanted. We wanted the 7-game set and we have duly received it. This has been blow for blow, back and forth Age of Empires, 2 titans of the game, so evenly matched, Mem. And I don't know what to expect. It's just, it's unbelievable. This is exactly what we were hoping for, a nail-biting tiebreaker game to close out the series.
I'm nervous as a fan, also as a fan of Age of Empires. And if you took my heart, I'm really nervous. 3-3 was already match point for Viper, and then Leary come and in what 10 minutes to get the game number 6, Nelly.
It's crazy. Leary was also down 3-2 in another final against Sarah. This is the 4th final for Leary in a row where he actually is going to game 7. I think his mind should be a bit sharper because there's so much pressure. Don't you think so, Tristan?
I would agree. He has been here. He's done that, but there's also got to be that thought that Viper's been waiting to take his crown back for so long. And I feel like even though Leary's had the better of the Red Bull Wololos, it is against the Viper, and that definitely carries some weight in his head.
It's one of those games where, you know, we're going to be talking about this for years. This is a series. This is a conclusion of a tournament series that it's exactly what you want. You want it right down to the wire. You want all the tension, all the drama, the players at the end of their tether when it comes to nerves and tension, pressure and excitement. But I know that as soon as this game begins, it's going to be game faces on and they're going to get straight down to business. We can't wait to get to game number 7 here. Our grand final continues. Back to you two over at the desk. Bring it home, boys.
Dave, game 7. We've been here a few times with the Red Bull Wololos.
Yep.
This is exciting.
We've been here for number 2 We've been here for number 3. We've been here for number 4 and number 5. Do you think this is a competitive game mode, Tristan? I would say yes.
Yep.
And I can't wait to get into game number 7. I mean, oh, Viper versus Leary, game number 7 in a castle in Germany. $26,000 for the winner.
There's a $10,000 difference between first and second.
Yeah.
This is a $10,000 game, essentially.
It doesn't get any better than this. If
No.
you're an Age of Empires fan,
This is beautiful.
it's amazing.
And
dude.
there is like tangible tension in the air right now. It is very difficult to move around because it's crazy. But we should talk about the civs. I think Berbers is the go-to here for Leary. I know Indians, you've got to be tempted to go with them because of their camels.
Yeah.
But having cheaper knights and camels is going to be the killer on Land's Madness. What about Viper's choices? He's got Khmer and Teutons.
Khmer and Teutons. I know he loves Teutons, but Khmer feels so good here.
Yeah.
It feels so good on Land Madness.
Viper, we said before, has played with Khmer very, very frequently over the years, and now Khmer are seen as a lot stronger as you can hop inside the houses. You don't have to drop off your food from the farms. But I hope that if he plays Khmer, he isn't too greedy with it, Dave. We've seen instances, I think back to Hidden Cup 4 semis, where he likes to hop inside those houses, but he doesn't make the military. He needs to make the military here. Military has to be a priority for Viper.
He can't get greedy.
No.
You can't get greedy on this map.
Correct. And in the Civ matchup, I think that Vipers actually has to be the more offensive player in Feudal Age.
Yep.
Berbers have the stronger Castle Age.
I think we saw it in Red Bull 1. That was the final game. It was, I believe it was a Land Madness game, and I believe he attempted to get greedy.
Yep.
And Yo punished him for it.
Yep, it was tricky, but Viper has certainly made it here. He's been in Game 7s before, so has he. He's been in quite a few, actually. He's been in all 3 of the other best of 7 finals that went to the 7 games, so he's been there, done that, Dave.
But does Leary think back to the time when he won in the in the Game 7s, or does he think back to the time when Viper's GL teammate Doubt somehow clutched out a victory against him?
I don't think you think back that far.
Okay.
You might have some words of, I'm the best, let's go, but I don't think you ever think back to, oh, remember that game. I think it's more surface level. You want to keep yourself focused on the games. Leary looks like he just got bad news, but I think he's just serious and he's focused and he is ready to go. We should be in shortly. I think the players both wanted a few seconds. Viper there, zen, calm, ready for his victory.
Yep, the game face is on. I can't imagine clicking start on this game. Can you imagine like just clicking start on this game in this pivotal moment? Like,
and then what if the civilization you have is a really weird song and it ruins your flow? You pick Mongols, it's like, oh, guys, that weird, that was awful.
Putting myself in their position.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the emotions that they're going through right now. This isn't just like a big deal for their Age of Empires career. This is a big deal in their lives. This is a moment that they're going to remember for a long time. They've never been, none of us have ever been to an event like this. This production value in the castle, the prize pool, the competition here. This is a first for Age of Empires. This is a first for them. And they want to make sure that it won't be the last.
Block it all out. Every word you said, very true. And we should all remember that. Block that stuff out. If you're Leary, block that stuff out. If you're Viper, this is one game. One game, you finish this game as strongly as you can. I believe we're about to see it, ladies and gents. It has been a treat. Actually, no. I think maybe we saw, actually, this might be it. We might have seen the good luck, have fun. Maybe we are gonna hop into game number 7. How fitting is it, Dave? Land's Madness. Leary is ready to go.
This is where it started going wrong for Viper. The 4th game against Mr. Yo. Well, I guess the first game was where it started going wrong, but the 4th game is where really the nails got put in the coffin there for his Red Bull Wololo 1 experience, and we've been through 4 editions of this tournament. Viper really taking his time getting ready here. Been through 4 editions. He was so dominant before the first edition. Struggled to win a major tournament since then. The king of Age of Empires has struggled for a year and a half. Can he bring it back? More than a year and a half now. Can he bring it back?
He might be able to, Dave. I think regardless, if Viper loses this, obviously Viper fans around the world will be very upset, but he's proven he is that top 3. He
Yeah.
is that
Oh,
top
yeah.
4 contender in Empire Wars. There's no doubt about that regardless of what happens, but we're waiting. Is that some water now? Is that Krasinski talking to them? Hopefully everything's cooperating for them, and we just got one more game to play here, Dave. It's all over. It's all summed up after one more game of Age of Empires 2.
It's surreal. This whole experience at the castle has been completely surreal, not just for us as the casters, the players, the fans at home. You know, it's been amazing, and this all culminates in this game number 7. Both players still waiting. I think it was Krasinski that came up to Viper.
Yeah, if I had to guess, they might be having issues with the lobby, but they're just going to have to stay as relaxed as possible, and we'll wait for updates when we get them. And we see the side-by-side, and this is actually pretty fair overall, I believe.
Experience and speed.
Yeah, that's a little weird. That's a little. I don't know how these guys are 8 speed, and I don't know how Viper is only 7 experience. But you skip over those anyways. I think based on performances in Red Bull Wololos, the strategy I think is fair. Viper had some question marks over his strategy. We would probably give him a couple more ticks if we were to include the results from this week. Macro also pretty fair. You think back to this series even, Viper's probably had the better economy. Leary's definitely had the better micro, Dave, and it all culminates to a 7th game in this best of 7.
Look at that historical win rate in Empire Wars across these events.
Right?
71-29. We did look up the record between these two prior to this set. Lifetime, Viper is up 22-8. But that is all before
2020.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, it was like late 2019, Leary started to really turn it around. Started to mature a little bit, I think. I think it was his mindset that changed, his focus changed. Also, the stakes were risen, right? The stakes were risen. The prize pools were a lot higher. The tournaments had a lot more pressure. The pressure's on here. I'm feeling pressure. I shouldn't be feeling pressure, should I? I'm just talking about them.
My heart is beating very fast.
I can hear it.
Silence in the castle. The green room, I'm sure you could just cut it with a knife. The tension, and I believe we are about to be in game number 7 of Red Bull Wololo V from Heidelberg, Germany. From the castle, here we go, Land Madness, the Viper playing as Teutons, and Leary bringing out the Berbers. We'll see what the Snake can come up with this unorthodox Civ selection. This is the first time we've seen it in the entire event.
And we have a pause. And I hope that everything will run smoothly based on this pause, but this gives us time as casters, so that's good. Teutons, very cheap farms. If they take melee engagements in Castle Age, they're very strong against enemy melee units. So Viper looking for knights, but there's weaknesses to Teutons. They don't get husbandry. They're very slow.
Are they doing this on purpose to play with my emotions?
I don't think it's the players, Dave.
I think it might have been like a trap villager or something.
Oh,
maybe.
you know what? There's a good point. That's a good point. If they paused that early in, Krasinski probably spotted something.
Yeah.
Occasionally, when the villagers spawn, one will be caught in a tree or something. Okay, I've heard it is network issues, so we hope that this will run smoothly, Dave. I think I'd prefer to wait a couple minutes to
Who's
let that.
using the servers? Everyone's here. All the viewers are here.
Oh, maybe that AoE4
No,
stress
all
test.
the viewers are here, man. Everyone who loves Age of Empires 2 is here. I can see you in the Twitch chat. Let's get some hype for this Game 7. We just wait a little bit longer, I guess.
They both are, they've accepted it at this point. I think if it was Game 1, they'd be like, uh-oh. And I'm the same, but they're just holding out here, waiting, and they know how much this game means to them. We're going to look back to Red Bull Wololo 1 through 4 as we wait for this final epic conclusion to this tourney.
Red Bull Wololo is famous for mad strategies, crazy comebacks, and some of the closest matches in Age of Empires competition. So let's look back at how it got its reputation. At Wololo 1, 2 heavyweights of the game seemed destined to clash in the final. The Viper took down Doubt in the quarters before showing his genius in the semis against Hera, picking Teutons in Game 2 and carving out a win with one of the most maligned civs in the game. Yo, meanwhile, strolled into the semis, losing only once before beating the prodigy Leary in a 5-game thriller. In the final, Yo played the game of his life, finding an answer to every question the Viper posed and taking the title with an emphatic 4-0 win. Wololo 2 saw the same names battle it out in the semi-finals, but this time, the young guns came out on top. Hera took down Yo to reach his first Wololo final, and there faced Aftermath teammate Leary, who had overcome the Viper. The main event saw a clash of styles as Hera's safety-first approach countered Leary's aggression. The players went game for game until the final map, when Leary's lightning-fast attacks forced Hera into mistakes that left him vulnerable to one perfectly executed engagement. Leary took the win, and a new champion was crowned. At Wololo 3, 3 new competitors hit the semis. Doubt took on ACCM, and Valese faced reigning champ Leary. Leary and Doubt won out to set up the ultimate battle of youth versus experience, and it did not disappoint. A rollercoaster final saw Leary's god-tier micro win out in Game 1 before Doubt took 2 and 3. Leary hit back in 4 and 5 and looked destined for the win, until somehow Doubt rallied, forcing a 7-game final for the second straight Wololo. Doubt then cemented his place as an Age of Empires legend, using a huge army of plumed archers to overrun the Austrians' defences and snatch the title. Wololo 4 is best remembered for having the greatest grand final of them all, a teammate versus teammate grudge match between two of the best players of their generation. Leary and Hera were in scintillating form. Hera sailed through against Doubt on the Viper without dropping a game, and Leary was almost as dominant, losing only twice. The final was one for the ages, with the pair trading wins for the first 4 maps. Hera then forced Leary to save 2 match points and set up a Game 7 finale for the 3rd Wololo in a row. One of the biggest matches in Age of Empires history saw Leary emerge victorious to claim his 2nd Wololo title and prove that he is without doubt the player to beat in this format. So, what surprises does Wololo 5 have in store? Can Hera finally grab victory after being so close in the past? Or will Leary triumph for a 3rd time? Will a new challenger emerge to claim the crown? Or is it at last time for the Viper to strike and take the title that has eluded him for so long? The legend continues at Red Bull Wololo 5.
There is a bat flying around here, and I hope that it doesn't make its way over here. We are in a castle, and we are in game number 7. I'm just watching this. I'll keep an eye on the bat.
You keep an eye on the bat, yeah. I saw it as well. I was wondering what you're going to open with there. Listen, this has been a journey, everyone. I, of course, am not really a big part of making this all happen. I just talk about the game. But, you know, to get everything to run as smoothly as it has this week has been awesome. When a few things happen, you roll with it because we're in a freaking castle. $100,000. $100,000 Age of Empires 2 tournament. Dave, focus on the bat, please. I think he's going to get what if he tries to get into my hat?
It's up there.
He's racing around the room right now. But anyways, I'm sure the players recognize that as well. We are so close to the conclusion that I can't even be impatient right now. I'm just ready.
I just hope both players. I think both players are so firmly inside of their mindset right now that hopefully this isn't going to disturb them.
Sure.
We want to give the best possible experience for game number 7. We want nothing in the way of these players. Maybe we should close the curtains to the player room so the bat doesn't get in there. We were speaking of nothing in the way.
Actually, can we get camera? That would be amazing. Actually, it wouldn't be amazing, but you know, like game 7, Viper about to split micro, bat hits him right in the face.
Yeah.
What would you do? What's the admin call there?
I think that'd be up to Crazini.
Good luck, Crazini. That would suck. Anyways, Viper, he's got his earbuds out right now. You know, some players like to listen to music to calm themselves down, or maybe motivational things. Leary, I can't tell if he's listening to anything right now. If he was listening to a song to pump himself up at 19 years old, 2021, what would it be?
I think the only song you can listen to right now is Silence. I think you need to just kind of be in your own mind.
Okay. I was really hoping you would have something more creative than that, but I think you're right.
Can we get some Bat Jams in chat?
Bat Jam, the birth of Bat Jam.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone who doesn't have a better TTV Chrome extension or extension in general, is very confused by the cat jams, and I would like to say we appreciate you despite your confusion.
Yep.
That text isn't jumping around for you, but thank you for being
Look
here.
at both of them. They both have exactly the same expression. They're just kind of like, they're trying not to be frustrated by the situation. Some things are avoidable, and they're trying to just stay in their own headspace. Look at both of them.
And look at us, please. Yes, hi, we're back. The bat is up there, Dave. Have we covered everything?
It's actually right there too.
Don't jump, it scares me, man.
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be the tough one.
And if only it scared the bat.
Oh, man. We're gonna bring the analyst desk. They're gonna let us know how they feel about the situation as we're closing in on Game 7. Hello, Riley. Hello, Mem. Hello, Nilly.
Exalted viewers, there is a bat. You are missing out, my friends, because of just purely the direction the cameras are pointing. One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. Our event photographer whirling around like a ballet dancer on ice, trying to get a picture of the bat. It is astonishing. Anyway, this is the new Age of Empires meta, bat diff. Let's talk about how the bat may Sorry, serious, very serious situation.
Yeah, let's go.
So the bat.
So fun.
It's getting lower, guys. It's getting lower.
Oh dear. All right. Oh mate, I knew we were going to have some special moments, some unique highlights, and some iconic occasions here at Red Bull Wololo 5. I didn't think we'd have the guest star, the bat, here. This is a tough position for both players here, Mem. Really, really tough. I mean, this game is 20 years old. You know, it is sometimes feels like it's held together with spit and string on the back end sometimes, and part and parcel of playing Age of Empires is sometimes issues like this in the lobby, and players will have to be, you know, players get used to it, I guess, on a lower level. But when you're playing in a $100,000 tournament, when there is $10,000 in difference to prize money first and second, I mean, forget that. There is the chance to be eternalised as the champion of Red Bull Wololo 5. This is going to be weighing on the players heavily. It's really going to test them psychologically.
Well, they also know that there is a lot of people watching. We are here nervous. We are there in the town center, like everyone wanted. What is going to happen? We were debating about what civilization to pick. Khmer, Teutons. Neely was telling me, please, no Teutons, Khmer better. Dao then was telling, I prefer Teutons. Teuton is better, Neely. What do you think about Berber versus Teutons?
Dave already said it, right? Teutons, we already had that as the last game in the Red Bull Wololo 1 finals, so Viper really likes them, and they were even worse then. I think farms got even cheaper. You got extra melee armor on all your units, basically, that you're going to build, so makes some sense. But, Mem, you also said you don't like that Teutons is lacking husbandry, so their cavalry is slower.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that Berber has the advantage in the middle castle age. If they can go longer, probably then with those castles with Murder Host for free, even if he's doing correlations with the extra 3 range, can be insane. But in Land Madness, going for the Imperial age with these players, really, I don't know.
Oh, it's tricky, right? We have to think about feudal age first. And Dave, aren't you surprised that he instantly opened with archery range, although he's students, because he's not really farming a lot then?
Yeah, I mean, that's just classic Viper, right? He's going to mess with your mind. He's going to go with a civ like Teutons and then open archery range. I mean, I don't know. It's difficult, Nilly. Viper is always coming up with unorthodox stuff, and I just hope that this pause doesn't give Leary the potential to think of that possibility, you know?
Well, if they're paused, I don't know if they've scouted it, actually.
Yeah,
I don't
so
recall.
that's why I'm keeping my voice down, so that he's got the headphones on and it's a long way away, but
Viper's trying to listen. He's got his headphones on.
we have to make sure.
The thing about the range opening, though, is you actually tend to reach Castle Age faster because you're not spending food. Granted, he might make some scouts at Land Madness, but I think that in some ways, the Archer opening can pack a punch. You go Archer Spearman against a Scout opening. It's strong. And then you transition into those farms, which leads to a healthy food eco to go into the stable unit. So I think Archer opening is super meta right now. I don't recall what Leary did on the other side, but I think Viper could make it work with Teutons.
Yeah. I see a problem there, actually, because often we have seen that on Land Madness it is tough to scout your opponent because there's like no natural resources that are guiding you towards that one. And with Archer Spearman, you kind of want to find him early, Tristan. But if he goes into the wrong direction, actually, Archer and Spearman won't pay off.
Yeah, a little risky, I guess. Riley, We're all waiting. We are all ready, my friend.
Yes, indeed. A quick update from the production team. I've just had a quick note to pass to me in my ear here. In order to ensure maximum possible stability for these players, we are making a quick network switch. This may result in a brief outage of the stream. It will be brief. We will be back as quickly as possible. If the stream goes down, don't go anywhere. It is just to ensure the players are playing on the most stable network possible. Stick around. This match is coming your way, and we are moving heaven and earth to make sure it happens as quickly as possible. With so much on the line, it is not a point at which we want to make a mistake. It's not a point at which we want to do anything. I mean, it's bad enough with the bloody bat flying around. We don't need any more distractions taken.
Bad enough.
Well, nearly. I mean, that's the weekend there, right, isn't it? I mean, we're not going to top that. Pack it up, everyone. We're done. We can finish. Let's talk about what we're going to see here based on what we've already seen, Mem. We've seen aggression from both players. We've seen some very quick games. We've seen some long games, you know, with Sicilians being pushed into late game with that first crusade, that sort of stuff. Both players not showing any obvious weakness at this point. And it was great, particularly there in Game 6, to see Leary come back and force the 7th game. What can we take away from what we've seen already that may furnish our expectations of what's coming in Game 7?
Well, I love it how the Viper played in the wind. I think what with Kumans, he used Kumans at the maximum. You know, did several buildings. I think double RT range, stable. The production was insane. That's one of the favorite map for Leary. But the problem is that I was talking with Nelly. Do you think La Madness as a home map for the Viper? It's, I mean, it's not a home map also for Leary as well.
Yeah, well, it is tricky, right? We are going 9 maps deep, right? So there's not really like, okay, I have one specific home maps that I'm preparing, like we saw in the best of 3. This is best of 7. They are prepared on all the maps.
Well, we're going to find out very shortly. I'm being told we are going to take a very, very short break, my friends, to switch over the network connection to make sure this game goes ahead as planned. We apologise for the brief technical issue that we're having here, but we will be back after this, a very short break once again. We'll get everything sorted, and the grand final, the final match, final game of the grand final coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to our analyst desk here. Once again, we do apologise for the brief delay. We're getting things sorted behind the scenes. Nearly an update as to what's going on with the network here.
Apparently there are 4 different lines that we are using. So obviously Red Bull, very well prepared, and apparently the stream is running pretty well, but the game is still having some issues. So I don't really know what they're doing, but we sent the best people that we have.
Yep, absolutely. Of course, working tirelessly to make sure it's going to all go ahead. And once it is ready to go, we will move forward with our 7th and final game of this grand final. Of course, the culmination of 6 days of play across this entire week, 4 days of Swiss where 14 players battled it out, and before ultimately a cut to top 8 on Saturday saw us with our playoff bracket, and from there we've winnowed it down to just 2 players that were largely seen as amongst the favourites. An upset took Hera out in the quarters, but ultimately now Viper and Leary ready to do battle, and I understand that they are standing by ready to go once again. So very quickly over to our casters, T90 and Dave, for the thrilling conclusion, the culmination of Red Bull Wololo 5.
I believe that means we are good
to go here,
hopefully.
Dave.
If we are, I'm ready.
Game is
Apparently
unpausing.
the game is unpausing. We're ready to go.
Game is unpausing. These players have been waiting here. You guys at home have been waiting here. We've been waiting here. The bat
Has not been waiting.
has been
He's gone.
waiting here.
He's gone.
We're about to get into the game number 7 of the grand final, and what a game it's going to be on Land Madness. Viper playing as the Teutons, Leary playing as the Berbers.
Archer range opening.
Archer
for the
range
Viper
opening.
with Teutons.
And like you heard from Nilly, you have to find him quickly. The archers are slow. The spearman is slow. It can do damage, but you have to find them extremely quickly. We'll see what the scouting is like for Viper going into this game. And man, this just builds so much tension. I'm so excited. I'm worried for both players. I wish them the best, but only one can come out as the champion. Will it be the GOAT of Age of Empires, or will it be the kid?
Or the isn't the kid a reference for goats?
It might be a baby goat.
Isn't that a baby goat?
I don't want to call Leary a baby goat. He deserves better.
But that was a really good joke if you tried it. Congratulations.
Yep, Nilly will be proud. Okay.
But I mean, on a serious note, Leary is the Empire worst goat if he ends up winning this. So
he's the Red Bull Wololo
he
goat.
is right now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's for sure, Dave. He's going to try and get another one here. Viper trying to get his first, and it would be the biggest of all of them.
My heart right now.
I know. What the game?
I just hit my mic, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Like, my heart is beating.
We're online, but like I kind of. We'll get you an update, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we will be in shortly. You know, we're going to make this happen however we have to, Dave. If we have to, if for whatever reason we can't get the game on screen, which I'm sure we will, Dave is really good at making flip books. So he's just going to make a flip book.
I did make a pretty good Tarkin. Everyone guessed, even Jordan guessed a Tarkin, and Jordan was putting some really weird guesses out there.
He got Huskarl, though.
He got
Vince's
Huskarl,
was
yeah.
really cool. I liked Vince's
Yeah.
Huskarl.
It was good. Da Vinci.
Waiting for an update from production. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, so what we're doing right now, guys, is we are essentially doing a little restore. So
Yeah.
the spectating is
So
going
the
to
players
allow us
just-
to pick up from where we
Yeah,
left
yeah,
off.
and the players will start fresh with that restore, similar to if they unpause the game.
Yep.
I've already had a little break, so we're just taking another 20 seconds, and I hope for these players they're in the right mentality. I think from what I saw from those close-ups of them, both of them were not moving from their chairs.
I wouldn't
Sitting in
either.
their
Yeah, I
chairs,
wouldn't
not
get up.
talking to anybody,
Yeah.
keeping the headphones on, just kind of focusing on what their game plan is. It's a big, big prize difference between first and second, but like Riley said earlier, the prize is secondary. When you've played for this long, when you're this invested in a game, the championship comes first. It has to.
You see the look at Viper there. It's been a bit since we have had to stall things out here. And Viper looking at his lobby and Leary doing the same. They look very similar.
They haven't moved, man. Here's what they're competing for, the trophy. We're gonna watch a little video on how the trophy was made and while we get back into the game, and the restore is on right now, folks, so we'll be right back into the game after this. And we're into the game. We're into the game, Tristan. I mean, we're a little bit in, but we're in.
We're way in.
And the Eco KD is 0-0, so it looks like Viper has sat at home with his Spearmen and his Archers. I know we're a little bit into the game here, folks, but you can't complain. It's game number 7 of the grand final of Red Bull Wololo 5. We are in a literal castle. Leary is at home with the Berbers, and Viper is on the attack with the Teutons.
Viper's got the ideal start. He forced Leary into skirms. He now has the farms. Look at his food count, and he has scouts out, Dave. Viper is in the perfect position. I know it's how we've gotten here is a little wonky. We missed some of the action, but I'm loving Viper's start.
Yeah, and I'm so glad we didn't miss any villager kills. So both players have played this start pretty passive. They're both walling their wood lines. We can see a tower going down on Leary's wood line and more scouts coming across the field for Viper. Will Viper get here in time to deny this tower? No, I think it goes up at the perfect time. Fantastic play from Leary.
Can Leary, oh, this is so interesting, Dave. Viper is a bit more all in. Leary wants Castle Age. Can Viper actually do damage? That tower was brilliant. The gold's protected back there still.
Yep.
You've got the skirmishers chasing down the archers.
Yeah, Viper.
Leary wants Castle Age.
Viper is still pressuring the berries on the front. Leary trying to defend with skirmishers. Viper does have 24 on farms. He's going for bloodline. So even if Leary clicks up like he just did, Viper will only be probably a couple minutes behind him if he idles. But is he going to idle? It looks like he's going full military production. And Viper is pushing back the skirmishers. There's some weak villagers there. The spearmen are slow. They're trying to keep up. There's scouts in front and archers behind for Viper. He needs to do damage in the next couple minutes.
This is so greedy for Leary. I think he needs to leave that wood line. I think he needs to get out of here just in case. Leary needs to leave the wood line. Go to the other wood line. Can he defend this, Dave? If he defends this, he is the champion yet again.
Oh,
he's
Viper.
pushing back the Viper. Viper's completely out of position with everything.
Yeah, Viper accidentally hit a deer and Viper pulled his archers a little bit out of position. There's spearmen there for Leary. More spearmen for Viper. He's taking them down. He's attacking the skirmishers with his scouts, but more spearmen on the way from Leary. Viper is still producing units. He has tons of scouts on the field. Archers are still hitting at the front there. But hasn't taken any villagers yet. Viper needs to do damage here.
0 villagers killed. How did Leary hold against us all in so far? He's made it look so easy. Typically, the scouts are going to just take out the skirms.
Yeah, he's just ignoring the scouts.
He doesn't
He's just
care.
going for the archers. He knows the danger is the range units. 2 scouts from Viper over on the left-hand side are going to push those farmers back in. Leary does have a decent amount of food and gold in the bank, though. It's not over for Viper, even if Leary gets to the Castle Age, however, because he's going to have to clear up this army that's now going into the gold. Leary with the quick walls. Viper is attempting to do damage back here.
He needs it, Dave. He needs to do damage. He needs to buy time. He finally gets his first villager kill. But I don't see him getting much more. The spearmen are there. Leary and Castle Age. Leary's going to be making knights.
Leary will be making knights. We'll see what Viper has at home. He's still coming forward with military. His resources are actually looking decent. He should be able to click up in the next few minutes. Leary going for a market, and Viper looks to be walled along the wood lines. He's got some decent farming economy.
That's a lot of farms. That is a lot of farms. And still enough military to maybe threaten getting into the back area of Leary's base.
Yep.
But Leary needs to get some knights to Viper's base.
I like
right
the fact
now.
that Viper still has army alive and he's still looping around. He's still making Leary watch for this military and still
Is Leary gonna
keeping
boom?
him at home. Viper is going for skill. Mail armor. Viper's going into pikemen, but that's going to set him back even longer to the Castle Age. Spearman defense for Leary. Viper needs to be very careful with this.
This is so fascinating. It's like Leary wants to add a second town center, Dave. It's very similar to what MBL did in that one game earlier in this amazing week, amazing tournament. He is going to add a second TC. I can't believe it. He hasn't even counterattacked yet. He's actually giving Viper an opportunity.
Viper needs market.
To go to Castle Age.
He needs to balance. He's going with a tower on the front, and he can't stop making spearmen. He needs to idle to go up to the next age, but he's had to make 8 spearmen because he knows the knights are coming. Viper looped back around with those scouts, trying to hide them from the knights. Leary coming with knights now down the center. Viper does have archers there, but Leary only with the +1.
Yep, Spearman will help out there a little bit for Viper. He might end up keeping his archers alive. Leary backs away. The counterattack's coming in. Viper has 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to hold on here. Otherwise, he will not get the crown that he so greatly desires. Leary on 2 TCs behind this, Dave. The pressure's coming in from both sides. It's going to be so difficult for the Viper to defend from this.
He needs more spearmen on the right-hand side. Needs more spearmen on the right-hand side. Leary's still only +1 armor. Viper has more spearmen heading over there, so Leary has to be conscious of that. Still not a single villager kill for Leary yet. Viper's held on very nicely through the beginnings of this Castle Age, and he is on the way to Castle Age himself. He still has some military near Leary's economy, too.
Yeah, that's a good fight for Viper there. Leary trying to do a lot right now and maybe reacting here. You wouldn't think that Viper would be able to do anything, but he has the confidence, Dave. He also has the know-how. He knows he has to. He's probably confused as well. As Viper has a quick wall, those knights out of there. Unfortunately, will lose a villager.
No, he
won't
doesn't.
Lose a villager.
Excellent defense here from Viper, even though Leary was up to the Castle Age so quickly. Viper just now losing his first villager, and he's going to defend with Spearman. The pressure is on for both of these players, and all the skirmishers going down for Leary. Viper's coming back into this game.
And Leary's trying to boom, Dave. Look at the resources for Viper. Viper can make knights for days. It's also Teuton knights. They'll have extra melee armor. I don't think Leary will have the production of knights. He only has 9 on the field.
All this action in the beginning of this game, this huge military that we've seen on the field, and only 2 villagers dying. That shows how good these players are. And Leary's attempting a TC on the left-hand side, but that's where Viper's sending his scouts.
I think the TC is a mistake here, Dave. I think the TC is a mistake. It's greedy. I know Viper with Sicilians did it earlier, but on Land's Madness? On Land's Madness, do you really want to try
Remember
this?
what we saw from MBL, though. Remember what we saw from MBL. He was making TCs without creating villagers from them. Maybe that's the strategy for Leary. Just secure the resources, keep yourself safe. You know you're probably going to be a little bit ahead in economy because Viper was so long in the feudal age, but Viper is definitely going to be ahead in military as he comes across the field with some pikemen now deciding to get that upgrade right away and still has the scouts on the field. He's done an excellent job keeping them alive.
Additional melee armor on the infantry as well. It is not just the knights, it's just that that's the first thing you think of. Teutons are a slower civilization.
Oh, will he open the gate? Will he open the gate for the scouts?
Okay, there's 2 knights. The scouts have to run away, yeah. And Dave, Leary, pretty much unlike him, booming here. It does put Viper in a position where Viper needs to continue to pressure. And the pikemen have found villagers over here, but they're running away because Berber villagers are so fast.
Pikemen raids, and look at how many pikemen Viper has in defense. He's only 6 villagers behind after all of this. Leary, though, with 3 TCs, is going to be creating faster than him. The pikemen are quick walled out. It looks like 1 villager died there. Couple pikemen going down. Couple farmers going down from Viper. The pikemen are attempting to catch up. Leary is having some good raids here, but the knights are being hit by that TC. And these pikeman raids are just baffling me.
This is nuts to me. If Leary can continue to move those knights around, that's great, but there's just pikemen everywhere.
Yep.
Viper really made use of those farms with Teutons. He's going to try and save this Ville, I think. Or no, she's just going to wish those knights away. And we're probably going to see a little bit more action from Leary at his base now. He's going to push out with the knights in a moment. Viper with the second TC.
Viper adding a second TC, and it looks like he has more military in the front. Viper, though, taking some big shots from that mangonel forward. He's going to move the pikeman away. Okay, he only lost 1 pikeman. There's a little bit concerned there. He still has those scouts on the field. He's done such a good job, and he's pulling the knights away. It looks like he's going to go in with the knights of his own and attempt to get that mangonel. No, he'll just take the direct engagement.
Bad fight for Leary. Bad fight for Leary there. Leary needed a quick wall, and there's a hole there. Viper, he's kind of trapped, though. Can he run in there with the pikeman?
He saw that villager was weak.
Yeah, this is a crazy game.
This is nuts.
Ridiculous game. Now, Viper's military is a little awkward because it's a lot of pikes, scouts, and knights. So the numbers are a little deceiving as you see Viper dive for the mango. Leary needs to repair that. I think that's enough repair villagers as long as they can run after it.
Look at the idle TC time for Leary.
It's very high.
That's what I'm talking about.
And the mango goes down.
The mango goes down. That's huge. It's a big investment for Leary. Viper, look at how much military is coming. Look at the production, Tristan. This is absolutely insane. This seems like such a planned strategy. Viper coming in here with the Teutons. There's pikemen everywhere. There's knights everywhere. He has 34 military compared to 9 from Leary.
This is Land's Madness. Military production. Falling back to TCs, take that all the way back to enclosed Leary. This is not the way to play Land's Madness if you want to beat the Viper. And the Viper in peak form, Dave. He's got 3 TCs behind this, and Leary falls back to a very defensive castle.
There's no gold left there. That is not where you want the castle. If you were to ask Leary, he would not give that location. Viper dives in with the scouts, with the knights, picking off a few more villagers here. He's on the wood line. If Leary doesn't notice that, okay, Leary makes some house walls behind. Quick reactions in this crazy game, but Viper is over there with monks, with pikemen, with knights, and booming behind, like you said. incredible performance. He's taken the villager lead.
He'll continue that villager lead, Dave. He'll continue. And the hole is in. This could
The
be
Knights
it.
are in.
There's nothing for Leary. He has no answer to this. He doesn't have gold. If any gold he does have is going to run out soon. Camel Archers won't have the upgrades. And Viper's full boom behind this. He could even go 4 TCs.
He can sit under that tower. Leary can only fit 5 villagers. The villager count is 72 to 61 after Leary was so quick to the castle age. Viper is coming back. He's back in this game. He's ahead in this game.
Now we've got to talk Leary's win condition, Dave. What can Leary do
Look at that
to
Vivi
bring
tower.
this back? That is a Vivi tower. Shout out to Vivi all the way over across the world. But Camel Archers are sick, Dave. The one unit you want against Teutons in this matchup is probably the Camel Archer.
Yep.
If you can get your upgrades, you can hit and run, against those Pikes and Knights all day. So Viper has some work to do yet.
Viper has some work to do, but cutting off that wood line is so good. Leary can't see that tower, and look, immediate walls around it. That's what we say about these towers all the time. You have to build a wall. Some players don't do it. You were mentioning the Camel Archers. One of the reasons they're so good against Teutons, Teutons do not get husbandry.
Yep.
Like Mem said before, Teutons do not get husbandry. They're not as fast, and Leary cannot see that tower. It's going to cut him off from that area. It's going to be very, very annoying. He's adding another TC. He's somehow weathered the storm. This kid is amazing.
Look at the approach from Viper for a second. Do you see a single palisade wall on these areas? Nope, 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 nope. He's going to fight. If he's going to show why he deserves to be the King of Empire Wars, the new King of Empire Wars. Here comes the army from Leary, though. There are some palisade walls, Dave. There's going to need to be some more tower up. Leary will react. Will Viper react?
Viper reacts right away.
Great
Viper
reaction.
reacts right away. We asked if that break had any effect on him. I don't think it did. He's playing amazing. Leary is playing amazing. Leary goes right into Viper's base. Typical aggressive style. Viper pulling everyone, and he's got to respond with some military. I know he has a lot on the field. I see that number, 37 military. He's coming back with the crossbows, coming back with the pikes.
They're on the other side right now. We've got an engagement. Let's see if this is being defended by Leary. This is important, and it looks like he just garrisoned Dave.
Yep.
Made some camels.
Leary's
Viper ran away.
stabilizing. The villager count is even. This is a hell of a game.
And he's got more villagers on stone, Dave, which means more and more Camel Archers. That fight there, Viper's actually going to take that fight, but it's not a good fight for Viper, and it's harder for him to choose when to leave because he does have the slower civilization.
Yep.
Viper falling apart.
Well, Viper is spending so much time pulling villagers, but remember, the vill count is still even. And remember, all that time, Leary had pulling villagers earlier. So I feel like it's kind of balancing out here. We can see the idle TC time for Leary, double that as for Viper. So Leary with 4 TCs there, struggling to produce. Viper will be able to clear up this army most likely with the crossbows, with the pikemen, and then push forward. It's incredible. I never would have expected to see a game like this.
This game has had 2 comebacks so far. It has had 2 comebacks, and despite Viper's score lead, look at his military. He's got some knights, some pikemen, some crossbows, which is not ideal for Teutons. So clearly Viper is kind of like throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks right now.
Yep.
But there is one unit, and we've talked about it, the Camel Archer. If Leary makes more of that, Viper could have some problems. This is the perfect game for the grand final.
It seems so fitting. Game number 7, Red Bull Wololo 5, that we get a crazy Land Madness game that looks to be ramping up for the late game, Tristan. And the late game matchup for these civs on Land Madness, like you said, Camel Archer kind of dominates. We'll see what Viper can do here. Maybe have a forward position, maybe a siege workshop or something. Leary is using the market like crazy right now.
What about a forward castle? Because look at Leary's upgrades right now. He doesn't have the second armor for his Camel Archers. He doesn't have the second armor for his camels. He's going to drop a castle here.
2 monks from Viper. This could be big, but he's throwing them right into the field of battle. The monks will go down. The camels will likely not take a good engagement against the crossbows and the knights. Viper going for the villagers building the castle, but that castle will go up. Camel Archers forced to retreat, and now Viper can't attack on this side anymore. He has to focus on the middle.
I think Viper, and I'd love to see his point of view for his scouting, he is going to really put a lot of focus on preventing Leary from expanding.
Yep.
This is not going to be a civilization win for Viper. This is going to be a control win. And if you look at Leary, he's backed into that corner, which is fine for wood and for other things, but he is going to be desperate for stone and gold control.
Viper, 11 on stone just a little while ago, and it looks like he's maybe dropping another tower. I don't know where the other stone went, but he's making another TC. Good heads up call there, Mapu, our amazing observer here.
Oh, wow. Leary didn't have bloodlines that entire time? That's crazy to me. Also, lacking horse color is going to hurt.
Viper's so on it.
He is.
With the crossbows. He's constantly in defense. Leary, though, constantly noticing when Viper defends with the crossbows, immediately pulling the camel archers and the knights away.
What it comes down to now for Viper is if he can get a castle forward. Because what he wants is a position where he can start to treb down those castles. If the castles are gone, suddenly Berber's not as scary
He's got
anymore.
enough stone now.
Yeah.
He has enough stone now. Leary, though, with more resources, Leary looks like he's going to be up to the Imperial Age first. Leary has 2 castles. Oh, no, never mind. Viper's already up. I didn't even notice that Viper is already up, and he's going for a forward castle. He needs to bring the pikemen, bring the crossbows.
Leary could deny that.
Cannot be denied. No, not with the crossbows.
No, he can't.
This is going to go up, and Viper will be there first.
Leary is out of stone, Dave. He cannot repair his castles. Even if he wants to, he cannot repair his castles. He would have to purchase the stone. If Viper gets this position, which Leary now has realized he has to give up, Viper can win this game. It has been all over the place here, game 7.
And look, he's defending again on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
It's insane. Viper is everywhere right now.
And he's got vision everywhere as well. The towers, the houses, everything's just giving him full control. That won't be a fight he wins, but he is a full 2 minutes faster to the Imperial
Yeah,
Age.
and adding production buildings behind this. Look at the expansion on the mini-map from him. Look at Leary cut into that little corner like you were talking about. Viper just wants to hold him in there.
Dave, Viper's going to do this. He recognizes the situation. Basically, what you want in a situation where there's a treb war is you want to be the player with the melee units, because the melee units can dive underneath castles to snipe trebs. Leary doesn't have that.
Well, he's getting the +2 armor for his cav now.
Leary can't take trebs, and yet maybe he will. Yeah, maybe he will. Maybe he'll switch into the cav. Viper, though, with a lot of pikemen, and I think Viper's army, almost like an AI, it's kind of making it difficult for Leary to know what to make.
Why is Viper going over to that side? Is he going to place another castle on the left there in that little choke point? Is he going to truly trap Leary into this corner? He is. He's going over there and he's sending his entire army. He wants to make sure that that castle goes down. Leary unable to find any damage with the raiding force of the camel archers in Viper's base. And now we see this army advancing for Viper. He's teching into Cavalier. He's getting that final armor upgrade for the Cav.
Leary running right past the castle there, Dave. Makes you think about, will he be able to snipe the trebs? Viper doesn't have his army there right now. I think Viper's got to be careful with his trebuchets.
Yeah, he does, and he's definitely going to lose that trebuchet. Remember, Teutonic Castle's getting the murder holes, so it's harder if Viper puts the treb in the right location for Leary to engage against it. The raid's coming in, but Viper notices it right away. He's going to shoot those light cav down with the TC. He just has to make sure that has a stable push, and it's not crazy raids happening 100% of the time in his farms.
First mistake from Viper there in a while, losing that treb, because Leary's now an imp. Leary's army gets a hell of a lot stronger. Viper does not have a good unit to stop camel archers in his base. He, of course, wants to go forward with the Cavaliers. So as for what his decision is going to be, I don't know. But for now, he's clearing up the raids,
And I love the fact that Leary is splitting up his camel archers. Look, he's got 5 camel archers over there. He's got like 8 over here. The pikemen from Viper actually getting some unexpected hits on those. Leary is frantically trying to defend and running into the castle as well. So some good moments here from Viper.
And Viper's now protecting. He's protecting the treb, Dave. 165 population, or 75, excuse me, for the snake. As you see Leary, desperate for that gold, drops a town center there.
Yeah, and finally clearing up that tower. These camel archers look like they're going to go down to the Cavalier. Remember, Teutons do not have a husbandry, so their Cavalier are very slow. But Viper, with castles forward, is going to force an engagement.
Yep, and that's the thing. Leary killing villagers is not as important as killing army right now. Leary needs to address Viper's army so he can address the trebuchets. And if you look at, it's gone.
I think he lost it to the treb. No. Look at all those bodies. I think Leary dove for it, and I think Leary paid a very big price for that trebuchet as Viper comes forward to repair that castle. That castle from Leary, I believe, is still getting hit from the other side.
He's out of stone, Dave.
From
he just
Viper,
had to buy
and he's
stone.
out of stone, and the crossbows are defending it. If Viper puts those crossbows in front of that trebuchet, Teutonic castles get murder holes.
All we're waiting for right now is the Cavalier to dive those trebs, Dave. I'm so sorry to interrupt them. This is so crazy. Look, the Cavalier, they can do what they're doing here to the trebuchets, and then Leary will have nothing.
Yeah, Viper still defending that castle, still repairing. Leary is still out of stone here, and he doesn't have the gold to buy more stone. He's going to have to sell wood or sell food to do it. Once that castle goes down, the Cavalier can go right into the base from Leary.
That Viper treb just took a hit dead on and it didn't go down. I'm very jealous.
Very,
of
very
Viper's
jealous. And that castle will go down, and the Cavalier will dive for that trebuchet. Leary is stuck into the corner here. He needs to free himself, and Viper needs to keep him here. And Viper holds on to that castle in the middle. Leary's castle goes down. That's less buildings to create the Camel Archer. He only has one castle on the field. He's desperately defending with Light Cap. Viper is raiding over on the right-hand side here. This looks so good for Viper.
It's like a boa constrictor now. He's coming in from the left, he's coming in from the right, he's coming in from the center. He's not allowing Leary to expand. Leary is slowly suffocating here and realizing this will not be his day. Thumbring is a very late upgrade. Thumbring applies to Camel Archers, of which he has 10. I'm truly just waiting to see Viper go for the killer blow.
And he's killing the villagers on the gold. They're desperately running for the TC. They're faster because they're Berbers, but not fast enough. Viper's still raiding on the right side TC. Leary desperately building that. What is that, a university?
Is that a university? Did he lose his university?
He didn't have ballistics. He didn't have ballistics.
Oh, God, and what a time to realize as well when Viper's in your base with Cavalier. I mean, I still feel like Leary, he has a chance here, Dave, if Viper doesn't go for the killer blow, and I'm just waiting for it. When is Viper going to make the move? When is he going to dive and truly finish Leary off?
I think the best thing for Viper right now is that there's no raids really going on in his economy. There's one area right there, but he's got pikemen in defense. He's been so on the ball with units in defense. Every time Leary goes to raid, Viper has a response, and now Viper, it's his turn to raid Leary's economy. What a game 7 we have here. Viper is in firm control, holding Leary into this little corner, and Leary is trying to hold on desperately, clinging to his life in this game 7.
Viper's like, Tootens? I'm slow? Well, that's great, because I'm choosing when to fight, not you anymore. You can't hit and run on me with these Camel Archers. You have one castle remaining. Leary I don't see a way back, Dave. I do not see a way back. The only thing is the Camel Archer numbers. Now Viper's hitting that castle with traps.
And Viper needs to get rid of that castle. He needs to protect his trebuchets. The castle is the win condition for Viper right here. It looks like Leary's trying to take it. Viper needs villagers forward to repair. There's one light cav hitting it. The castle will kill the light cav. The treb is still hitting the castle. Leary has no stone to repair his castle. The Camel Archers are deadly, but Viper is constantly going in for the raids. All the TCs from Leary are flashing on the mini-map here. They're all being hit by something. Viper is just not letting up. And Leary is in deep, deep trouble here as I think he begins to come to the realization that he will not be winning this tournament.
Watch this. Viper finds a sweet spot in the back. He's going to take some losses, but most importantly, Leary has to follow. I expect a middle push from Viper in a few seconds, if not now. There it is. He just follows it up with another wave. He has the economy. Leary has no way of countering. This is a never-ending storm.
And I think he's done it. Viper's done it! Viper's done it! The King of Age of Empires is back on his throne! Red Bull Wololo V champion! Oh, what a moment! Game 7
and
Gamer Legion!
His team goes to congratulate him. What a moment! What a moment. This is crazy. People have talked about, is he off of his throne? What's going on? Why has Viper not won every tournament? Well, he's won this one.
This is absolutely magical. This is so scripted. It's not even funny.
It does feel like that.
His girlfriend is there. His best friends are there. He's with his teammates, and he's gonna go say congratulations to his competitor on an awesome result. Leary played his mind out here in this game number 7, and indeed in this set and in this tournament. And we have Brittany here with Viper in the war room.
What did you feel going into that 7th game? I mean, Leary, the defending champion, you just came through, taking over the title and conquering it all.
I don't really know. I had a clear plan in terms of how I wanted to play, so I still felt good with my save, but his cast ledge time was faster than I expected, so it got really messy, but in the end I was able to pull it off. I don't really know. It was so intense. Couldn't afford any mistakes. Just wild game.
What did you do during that little break that we had between match 6 and 7 to kind of keep your head sharp and your mind in the game?
I was quite upset with how I played the sixth game, so I just had to try and refocus, know that I'm here, I'm a good player. I just want to, I got to do my thing, and either it works or it doesn't. There's nothing to lose, right? So there were some issues with lag and such that kept us kind of we were sitting there for a long time waiting for Game 7, yeah. But no, just had to refocus and just go for it.
And ultimately, how does it feel to win your first Wololo?
I mean, what better time to do it than right now, right? It's been haunting me for a long time, and yeah, like this is the perfect occasion for me to finally win one.
Okay, and then what do you have to say for all your fans watching, your friends, your teammates who are here cheering you on? What do you have to say for everybody?
First of all, I just want to say 7-10 strategy. Whoever was responsible for that, I'm going to hunt you down. But either way, I'm just so thankful. There's so many people supporting me and wishing me well and wanting me to win. And I feel bad because I feel like I've let down my fans over the 4 previous Red Bull tournaments. So just massive thank you to everyone who's supporting me. And yeah, I cannot be more grateful.
All right, now we have Riley with Leary.
Leary, first of all, mate, thank you so much for sticking around to talk to us here. A heartbreaking moment for you. You know what it's like to be on the other side of the table here. You've won 2 of these things, but I imagine it's not the result you wanted, and you're probably pretty gutted.
Yeah, obviously, was going for the 3rd title, but he was slightly better today, and he deserved it.
Mate, you know, as the defending champion, as the favourite, there was a lot of pressure piled on you to perform. I think you really outdid yourself, you know, undefeated in the Swiss. You took it all the way to the final. Is there anything that now, upon reflection, you think that maybe was something that you needed to tighten up, or on the day, I mean, Viper played a hell of a set, so there's no shame in going out like this?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, there's always some small things you look back to, right? Some small things you reflect on. It's hard to mention them right now, but small things which add up, which make a difference at the end of the day. But overall, I'm still happy with my performance. 2nd is still not bad, you know, by any means. And losing the Viper is no shame at all, so yeah.
Leary, well done. Everyone, please join me in congratulating our very worthy runner-up at Red Bull Wololo V. It's Leary.
All right, the moment we've been waiting for. We have your trophy here. Hold on, let our knight in shining armor step up. Oh my God. I didn't know he was real this whole time. This is, I hope you made room on your desk for this moment, the champion of Wololo V. We have the Viper. All right, is it heavy? Okay, well, good luck getting that home. All right. Oh, that's precious. All right, back to the casters. To you, Riley.
Thank you so much there, and a very worthy recipient here. A triumph of true champion as Viper finally, after all this time, raises the trophy he has sought for so long. The Red Bull Wololo title is his. Joined one last time here by Mem and Nilly, and what a performance we've seen. I mean, from the start, this tournament has just been incredible, and Mem, a fully fitting finish to a spectacle.
What a game. In the last game, was telling me Nilly has lost the game. Viper lost because he went with Berber super fast. My opinion is I think that Leary should have been 1 TC all in, doing that many tall centers. He couldn't afford army. He didn't do any damage. He almost didn't kill a single villager, and that advantage being castle is that faster went gone.
Nilly, your thoughts as well. This has been a spectacular event, and I mean, we've had so many thrills and spills. Our final was absolutely just out of this world. What are your thoughts on the event as a whole, and of course the result that we've just seen here?
Obviously, I'm tearing up, right? It's like I'm so empathetic with the Viper. He has been like aching for this for 1.5 years now, and in the week of boot camp, he like just trained for this one single moment, right? And he knew like he's good enough to go through the group stage either way, and then it is this way, and all like training towards honestly like Hera and Leary, and just trying to think that through for like months now. I'm just super happy for him.
Yeah, I can tell, mate. It's a big moment for him. It's a big moment for his team. I want to bring in the entire casting team here one last time here to give their final thoughts. Dave and T90 over on the desk. You've given us an incredible call, boys. Well done on getting through what was just a monumental performance from both of these players. Tristan, we'll start with you, mate. Once again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. A fitting conclusion to a thrilling week.
Yeah, I mean, it was just people in Twitch chat are saying scripted at the moment, and it really does feel so. I can promise you it's not. It is very much live, and feel like everyone who has followed Viper's dominance over the years also recognized how much pressure he put on himself to continue that dominance as the game changed and as these tournaments came out. And his hard work paid off, and you know, I know there's all these things about his wrist and whatnot, but you know what? He just came to play, and he got everything sorted, and he is the champion. You know, Dave, I'll have more to say about the show as a whole, but just thoughts on the Viper and him winning Red Bull Wololo V.
Scripted. It's scripted. I think everyone's emotional here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a big thank you to all the viewers who came out. You know, like, the production staff is just incredible here. I didn't know any of these people who were like running around telling us things, we've got to be on set and all this stuff. I didn't know I was going to be wearing a costume the entire week. I didn't know many of the people that made this happen. You know, Red Bull and Microsoft and everyone. I just want to say thanks for the opportunity personally to be able to witness that and play a part in casting the event. It's always a pleasure, but this one meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's been huge, and we've had the best seats in the house. Thank you so much to Tristan and Dave for the incredible calls we've got from them, and to you two as well. You've been my stalwart colleagues the entire week, and thank you on a personal level for all of your support, boys, but also on behalf of everyone watching. Thanks for the show that you've helped to put on. I'm interested to get your final thoughts, your final closing thoughts on Red Bull Wololo V. Viper, finally the champion. Mem, this week has been magnificent.
Well, my final thought is that experiences like these are happening not all the time. We have to enjoy everyone, the viewers, myself, Nili, all the casters, the production here that has been helping so much. I mean, we were doing something, are you okay, you need anything? I just want to say thank you for everyone did it possible, and I'm so happy to be part of this event. It's an honor for me, and also hopefully the viewers have enjoyed, because we definitely love this game, and this community is definitely special.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's been a pleasure to bring you this coverage. Nili, I can tell this is a big moment for you. You don't wear your heart in your sleeve. You're a pretty straight-laced bloke, but I can really tell this one means a lot.
Yeah, I'm only asking, like, Red Bull Wololo 6 when?
Well, time will tell, my friends. Thanks so much to the rest of my casting team, Britt as well, for the phenomenal job that's been done this entire week, my friends. But that's all she wrote today, sports fans. That is the end of Red Bull Wololo V. 14 players arrived at Heidelberg Castle with aspirations of glory and triumph, determined to carve their names into the annals of Age of Empires history by claiming the Red Bull Wololo V trophy as a testament to their supreme prowess with this game that we love. One by one they fell, vanquished in monumental, hard-fought battles, but alone one stood unequal against the magnificent background of Heidelberg Castle. On behalf of the entire broadcast team, thank you for joining us here in Germany for this incredible week, and join me in congratulating our champion at last, the Viper, against the magnificent backdrop of Heidelberg Castle.
Bye.